Welcome in to a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Stewie is here, Lloyd is here on this Thursday edition. The Carpool Queen will be in after 8 o'clock. We're going to talk to Will Wade at straight up 8 a.m. as he is preparing for Mississippi State on a Saturday night. And the Maravich Center will be good to be getting back home for LSU, as we will talk to Coach Wade coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll also talk to Ben Mintz. Super Bowl 56 is upon us. Families arrive today in Los Angeles. We'll talk to him about some of the bets that he's watching for Saturdays or Sunday afternoons. Tilt will be having a watch party over here as Super Bowl 56 will be here all day. And our food is going to be compliments of our friends over at Modesto. Sean Courtney's done a tremendous job of taking care of us, man. Shout out to Sean Courtney. And really, he set us up for a watch party over here a couple of weeks back for a basketball game that he brought over the Modesto fajitas. And since then, man, the setup, we ate on those fajitas for a couple of days. If you're thinking about a watch party this weekend for the Super Bowl, if you're planning a party, Modesto is catering our watch party. They should be catering yours. We're getting the full spread. We got gallons of Modesto margaritas coming over. We got the perfectly seasoned chips that I think we still have. Some of the chips from the last watch party. Dude. I mean, we got the queso, we got the chicken, we got the steak fajitas that's coming over here, fresh guacamole, the skirt steak. They need to cater your watch party if you're thinking about having one for Super Bowl 56. They've catered ours. They're the best at it. And like I said, man, you will have leftovers that you can eat throughout the week. It's awesome. Check out online, eatmodesto.com. That is eatmodesto.com. We appreciate them for being here on Sunday for the watch party. We're looking forward to you starting your Thursday with us. Make sure you hit that like and share button. We appreciate you being here as we got some. We're going to go down the Super Bowl prop bets. We're gonna play the props. We're gonna play the individual and team bets. Look at some of the ones that make sense from a gambling standpoint, and we'll ask Mintz coming up at 8:30 what he thinks about some of the prop bets outside of the game. Is Bengals still hovering around that 4.5 number? Right there at 4.5 on Sunday versus Los Angeles. How we feeling, boys?
You have any feel for it?
There's no way I'm betting against Burrow in the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? I mean, like, I bet against him in the divisional round and felt like an idiot and, had to pay my money. And there's no way that I would bet against him in the Super Bowl.
And well, it's almost hard to fathom because of the way they get off to such slow starts. And then you're like, well, this is kind of how the magic has to run out at some point. Like, in what world did you see the Bengals in Joe Burrow's year 1.5, essentially, making it to the Super Bowl? I guess we should have seen this coming because he did the same thing for LSU. And then when he got to the national championship, there was literally leave no doubt whenever Joe Burrow stepped on the field. So I'd imagine the Super Bowl is going to be the similar situation for him because he doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, I mean, like Danny said yesterday, man. I mean, he's been doing this everywhere he's been.
Well, his dad said the same thing. Their only answer is, because I don't think you can really quantify it. They're just like, well, that's just Joe being Joe. He's just done it his whole life.
Yeah, I mean, it was... It just really, nobody feels surprised around him. You can feel that. And even down here, having watched it like we did at LSU, I don't think anybody is really shocked. I've been asked numerous times. I said this last week. We did some radio hits last week where people were like, are you surprised of Burrow being in the Super Bowl in year 2? And, I mean, look, I wouldn't have bet on it. At any point, I wouldn't have bet on it 3 weeks ago. I mean, it just looked like it was going to be impossible. But the fact that he is there, I'm not surprised, and which is the same reason why there's no chance I would bet against him on Sunday, because if he wins it, I'm not going to be surprised.
Well, and if he does win it in the way that we think about Joe Burrow and what he did at LSU, you'd feel like a real dip if you were the one that put a little money on the Rams. And it's like, but I know Joe Burrow because, like you said, you shouldn't be surprised. We had a front row seat to what Joe Burrow can do, and now the media is catching on. Like, Joe Burrow has been the story of Super Bowl week. It feels like everywhere you turn, there he's either in an interview or people are talking about him in an interview. Will Ferrell talked about him on Dan Patrick.
Yeah,
like he is the talk of the Super Bowl, and it doesn't seem to faze him again.
He feels like the next coming of Brady. I mean, like that's a lot to put, but I mean, like I don't think that's outside of being fair on what you know about Burrow and what you've seen from Burrow, the way that he carries himself. I mean, barring just him staying healthy. The trajectory of this guy, I mean, in a year and a half with a terrible offensive line. He's in the Super Bowl with the Bengals. The Bengals.
Bengals.
You would know better than I would. Did Tom Brady get this kind of fanfare at Media Day? It felt like he wasn't really the talk of the Patriots. It was more of the
because
defense.
if you remember early on, I mean, it was more about like protecting Brady.
It was the Ben Roethlisberger syndrome.
It was absolutely. I mean, that you win with defense, you run the football, you control the clock, you keep the ball out of their hands, you keep your defense off the field. I mean, that was, and then when the defense is out there, they make plays. They don't allow. His first Super Bowl was against the greatest show on turf, which is against Warner and Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce and Marshall Faulk. I mean, like, dude, it was just Azakim. I mean, they were loaded.
Got the ball.
They were loaded. And I think they held him to 13 points in that Super Bowl. The 2001 Super Bowl with Rams and Patriots in New Orleans, the first after 9/11, Brady's first Super Bowl. I mean, it was the defense. Adam Vinatieri kicked that one at the buzzer that gave. I mean, it was Burrow is much more of a refined and solidified quarterback at this point in his career compared to where Brady was. Now, Brady evolved into the greatest of all time, and Burrow in year 2 is a much better player than Tom Brady was.
It shows how much the game's changed, how much they put the ball in the quarterback's hands. But what I remember from that Super Bowl is that the Patriots were announced as like the Rams came out as like individuals. They did they did all the stars, and the Patriots they've announced to come out as a team. And then even me, when I was like, I don't know, 10 years old when that happened, I was like, oh God, that probably means something. I was like, look at them all come out as a unit, and then you have Belichick behind him kind of sauntering in. It's like, this team doesn't think they're going to win. I mean, everybody doesn't think this team's going to win except for them. Yeah. Like, they're on a mission.
Score was 20-17.
20-17. I mean,
probably hit the under.
Had to. I think they were favored by 14 points. The Rams were that day.
Oh, I would imagine.
And
it was on turf?
It was on turf. I mean, nobody
Superdome?
thought that they were going to. Yeah, it was in the Superdome. Yeah. Nobody thought that they were going to win that game. I mean, it was. And the comparison of Brady and Burrow, I mean, it was everything but Brady at the time. Brady had won the team over, though. You know what I mean? When Bledsoe got knocked out, I believe it was like 7 weeks earlier. A lot of people imagine when Bledsoe got healthy, he'd get his job back. And Brady was actually knocked out of the AFC Championship game the week before, I believe, in Baltimore or Pittsburgh. And like Bledsoe had to come in and win the game. And Belichick named Brady the starter going into the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it was
a tough spot.
It was, I mean, Bledsoe had just signed a $100 million contract. This is like 01.
Was he the first $100 million
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so. But I think that Burrow is going to, he'll have a chance in the fourth quarter to win the game. And when would you ever bet against him in that scenario? I mean, I think that this is going to be a great football game. I think that, both teams deserve to be here and that they'll, make the most of it, and it'll be a fourth quarter game. And if Burrow's got the ball with a chance to win, how do you not see him pulling it off? I mean, it's just going to be epic, essential Burrow. I mean, it's going to be more to the legend of who he is.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to be the guy with money on the other side when Joe Burrow has the ball with 1:30 left, driving down the field to either kick a field goal or score a touchdown.
Where's that
live bet button, dude? Let me switch this thing up real quick. Oh, I can't. It's unbelievable that he's the one in the Super Bowl, because otherwise I don't think we wouldn't be this invested. But now it feels almost like, it feels a little LSU-y to me.
Oh, yeah. It feels like a home game.
My heart's in my throat.
It does, man. It's gonna be great. Like I said, we'll have a watch party over here. Modesto Eats is gonna be giving us our food and drink on Sunday. We're looking forward to having you watch along with us. Make sure and set your notifications and subscribe button. And remember that we'll be here on Super Bowl Sunday watching Burrow and the Bengals take on Los Angeles with Odell Beckham Jr. and Andrew Whitworth playing in this game at 40 years old. Before we get into some of the bets that are making sense, and we'll talk LSU and Georgia on the wood tonight as far as Kim Mulkey and her crew. Number 17, Georgia in town to take on the 14th ranked LSU Tigers. So a good basketball game tonight going into the weekend. LSU hoops on the men's side is going to host Mississippi State on Saturday night. As we said, their head coach Will Wade will be here at 8 o'clock this morning as we'll get a preview from Coach Wade coming up in just less than an hour, about 45 minutes from now. And then we'll talk to Ben Mintz in the second hour. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by True Blue Water, our friends over at True Blue. If you want to get on the delivery route, it's trubluewater.com. Go Chevrolet drives us every single day. GEAUX Chevrolet.com. You can find Go Express Auto Sales right here in Baton Rouge if you want to find them at Florida Boulevard and Sherwood Forest. Stewie, we find the individual prop bets? All right, we're going to get on those here in a little bit. And then, as always, our official spice of the Jordy Culotta Show, Papa Earl's, 30% less sodium than the competition, which you can pick up locally. Anywhere, High Neighbor, Rouse's, Calandro's, Scott Oldham. Throw some new tape on the grip of that bat. I agree. We do need a retape. Do a little bit of
do
that.
that.
Can you?
You know who probably can do it better is Mikey.
Matuk.
Yeah, but
I would like the kind of the X tape.
oh, you want the tapered?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. I
Okay.
can do that. I ran a little
spat.
Yeah, I ran a little racket when I worked at Marucci that you would pay for. We sold like grip tape for the bats.
A little hustle on the side.
And then they were like, "Do you know how to do this?" It's like, for an extra $10, I can do it for you. Just a little cash.
Nice.
Boy, hustling.
That's right.
Lizzie, my guy. All right, hit that like button, share button, comment button. Will Wade coming up here in 45 minutes. Individual prop bets heading into the Super Bowl. Stewie, what's the first one? Who we got?
First bet, we have longest reception. Cooper Kupp is 28.5 on MGM, and FanDuel has him at 31.5. That's his under, and the over is 28.5.
Oh, little splitsies there.
Yeah.
Like you can get different odds on
You can
different
do
sides.
over and
yeah,
under.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can middle it.
Obviously, you go 20. If you're going to play the 28.5, you're going MGM. I would say Cooper Kupp would have a longer reception than 28 yards. I know that he's a lot underneath, but he is kind of a game-breaking guy. You know,
They like to get him in the seam and like work him deep.
They're
Like
going to try to match him up with Eli
Yeah,
Apple. I'd imagine whoever Eli Apple's on, that's who they're going to go after. Who actually hasn't played that badly, but he is
he's a liability in
dude.
coverage. Yeah.
brings a spotlight to himself too.
Absolutely.
What's the numbers on Jamar?
Jamar is actually second on this list. His over is 26.5 on MGM, and 27.5 is the under on FanDuel.
Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase. That's the matchup of the Super Bowl, right? I mean, as far as the one-on-one matchup goes, that's the one that everybody's going to be watching.
I think Jalen Ramsey will come out and really try to like get in his head. And,
No doubt about it.
Really try to attack him and see where he's at.
Does Jalen Ramsey travel with the wide receiver, or does he play one side of the field?
I'd imagine that he would be traveling with Jamar Chase.
It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Who's the other cornerback in Los Angeles? Who plays opposite Ramsey? Because I mean, T. Higgins has made himself. Oh, I mean, he's
The Bengals have weapons. Tyler
They do,
Boyd, T.
man.
Higgins, and then you wonder about Uzomah if he's going to be able to play. So that'll probably be. There's not, aside from Joe Burrow, there's probably not another person that wants to be out there more. Like you saw, I don't know if you saw when they did the send-off in Cincinnati, where he ripped off the knee brace on the stage, and when the crowd went buck wild, but then he immediately had to put it back on. But he was like trying to get the people fired up, and he said, I think there's a quote out there that he'd rather die than not play. He's one of those guys. Like he's been like the team.
No, he's a gamer.
Voice that he wants to be the leader whenever it's Joe, but he's like the rah-rah leader. So I would imagine they want him out there just to keep the stability for stability's sake.
Darius Williams is their other corner.
Gonna be a busy night, Darius. Better be ready to play, man. He knows that, though. I mean, I'd imagine playing alongside and opposite Ramsey, he probably gets picked on a lot. But how many sacks for Aaron Donald? What's the over/under? I mean, that's the one that
You got to hammer that.
Or the total team
Just total sacks, yeah.
for Rams is the number that I'm concerned about the most. I mean, that's the one that Cincinnati, this game could get away from them in one sense of if they just cannot protect Burrow. And this is the defensive line that, I mean, I remember a couple of weeks back saying, can they beat Kansas City? And you're like, I don't know if they can beat Kansas City, but you'd hate to think of something of matching them up against like Los Angeles against the Rams because they could kill Burrow.
Well, you've seen pass rush play a major factor in it. Like it seems to be that's what comes to bear in every Super Bowl when you had the undefeated Patriots against the New York Giants. The reason that the game tilted is because they were able to get pressure with the four. You saw the Bucks against the Chiefs last year, and you were like, I don't know if the Bucks are for real in terms of being able to slow down the Kansas City Chiefs, but whenever they were able to get pressure with Jason Pierre-Paul and basically rush four and made Patrick Mahomes kind of run around and do what Cincinnati did to him, and once you can kind of get him off his spot and get him a little confused, that comes to bear when you have people that are rushing with 4 and you can drop seven people in coverage essentially. So if the Rams can do that with Aaron Donald and Von Miller, that's why they brought in all of these people, is for games like they have in the Super Bowl. Like Von Miller is going to be a special player that night because you put all your eggs in that basket for this one Super Bowl, because they did the same thing that the Saints did essentially. They said, F these picks, we're going all in, and they've gone in multiple times over and over again in order to get the Super Bowl. And now they're back for the second time under McVay's tenure with another rebuilt roster.
McVay's tight. You think he's tight this week?
No, I think he got over
you think he's loose this week?
Well, I think
after going through it, yeah.
Shanahan was the one that he wanted to, that was the one he wanted to get off of his back. I mean, we saw him the way he coached that game, dude. He was throwing challenge flags left and right, and he missed both challenges, and he was just kind of out over his skis a little bit.
Blown all of his timeouts by the middle of the third.
He was just Adderalled out.
Receptions for Jamar Chase over and under. I got 5.5. I would take the over there. I would take over 5.5 receptions for Jam. Even last week when Kansas City threw all of their effort at him, he still had 6 grabs. I mean, they were doubling him. They were trying to play him, much different than they did the game before, obviously, when he was setting records against them. But I still think that he's too good to hold down, even in a one-on-one scenario with a guy like Jalen Ramsey. I mean, if Burrow sees him in a lot of those one-on-ones, he's going to take some shots.
Well, yeah, you saw the article that Ben Baby wrote yesterday about the connection between, we know this better than most, but it was about the connection between Jamar and Joe. And there's no way he's not going to, how many catches did he have in the first half against Kansas City? I think he only targeted him a couple of times because he's comfortable going to other people. But, I mean, there's the quote out there of, F it, I'm throwing it to Jamar. He's down there somewhere. He's not going to let him get away. He's not going to not be involved in the game plan. And if it's not going to be receiving the ball, they're going to get him involved like Deebo Samuels, where they'll hand it to him. Jamar's going to be an integral part of their game plan. He has to be.
No, he is. I mean, he's the best receiver in the league, and he's going up against Jalen Ramsey. Ramsey will follow him. Ramsey will follow him on Sunday, so there's going to be a lot of that's going to be a fun matchup to watch for 4 quarters with the Super Bowl on the line, with Jalen Ramsey taking on Jamar Chase. I mean, just a couple of alphas going at it. With the world championship on the line. So I mean, it's gonna be fun. We see anything? I see the total sacks in the game over under is 5.
Nothing on Aaron Donald's.
That is
the Super Bowl.
stealing,
The Super Bowl record for sacks in a game is 4.5, and I think Aaron Donald will kill that. With the Bengals line, I think he'll kill that. He might have 4.5 sacks in the first half.
Dude, they better have some type of, I don't know how they're gonna block these cats. All of them. I mean,
yeah, they got some dudes on that line.
Donald might be the MVP of the game.
He could be. There's a prop on that too.
I mean, that's probably a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, it's a sprinkle for sure. Just
to say you have it.
I mean, you always throw down on, if you're going to do prop bets, I would imagine you throw down on both quarterbacks just to get that's whoever wins. They usually give to the quarterback. Then you got to sprinkle around to a Cooper Kupp, an Aaron Donald. People like that that would make a difference.
We still haven't mentioned Odell Beckham.
Yeah,
I know.
In this game, and he could play a big part in this game, because who does Cincinnati have to cover him?
Yeah, they just play good team defense.
Right.
You don't really think of anybody other what Mike Hilton's been the one causing a bunch of turnovers, but you don't really have any marquee guys that you think of on that side of the ball.
Because before Pat Mahomes started running around like a high school quarterback, Tyreek Hill and Kelsey were killing them. They were giving them fits.
This feels like a game that Odell could play big into. This feels like one of those moments. And he's been playing really good for them over the last couple of weeks. I mean, what's he got, 5 touchdowns? He's got more touchdowns in the last 5 games than he has over the last 2 years in Cleveland. I mean, it's just been a totally different player. They have opened him up so much that he's kind of felt like he's been kind of right there on the edge of being not old school Odell, not vintage Odell, but just being a big time player, of making big plays. And this could be the moment where he pops. And I mean, no bigger stage and no better moment for a guy like Beckham to bust out right here, man. I mean, it would be it'd be a great story. It'd be a great story for sure.
First to 15. Rams minus 175, Bengals plus 128.
Well, I would go
Rams, considering how the games have gone for Cincy in the playoffs. They've got a lot of good props out here. Barstool has their own props. that are pretty fun, where you can go either team to have a successful 2-point conversion, yes, plus 250, no, minus 335.
Wow.
Opening kickoff to result in a touchback, minus 112 on both ends, yes or no. Because McAfee said that the balls for the Super Bowl, especially the kicking balls, are brand new.
Right.
They don't let you touch them. They don't let you do anything to them.
Well, don't they let you do the 10-minute thing?
Yeah, well, that's what you say. Usually you get like the day with them, and now they're fresh out the bag into the kicker's hands, and you get like no time at all with them. And so he said the first kickoff will be the weakest kickoff of not only the Super Bowl but of the year.
Wow.
Like, because you don't get the TLC you're supposed to get with the
like kicking a
with
brick.
Yeah, that's what he said. And so that's why you would think touchback automatically, but that's why the odds are the way they are, because the ball stinks.
Wow. God, what a terrible feeling, man. Get all the way to the Super Bowl and you can't have the one that you want. You can't touch the thing.
You can't
get
give
it
the one
ready,
that you
man.
danced with.
For God's
Bring the one that
sakes.
brought me here.
Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. Remember, online at CajunRMC.com. Get in touch with our friends over there. Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. They can help you with any project. Not too big, not too small over there at Cajun Ready Mix. Residential, commercial, anything that you need as far as concrete can help you with. Industrial, municipal. Get in touch with Cajun Ready Mix. They have 9 certified plants around the greater Baton Rouge area and all major outlying cities, which means that they're going to get your concrete to you on time to the exact specification. Cajun Ready Mix Concrete has high-quality products, grade A equipment, red carpet service, and clear safety standards. Check out their website online at CajunRMC.com, where you can get a lot of information, man. You can get in touch with them over there. You can learn about past projects. Phone number simple, 225-372-5060, 372-5060 is how you get in touch with Cajun Ready Mix. We will talk more about the Super Bowl prop bets and what's standing out with Ben Mintz coming up here at 8:30 this morning. Is anybody keeping up with this Auburn story and Brian Harsin? I mean, it is wild. I read Trey Wallace's piece over at Outkick, at Outkick.com, where he is talking about what's going on with Auburn and some of the things that I peeled away from this story is it is amazing to see what Auburn is doing behind the scenes to try and run Brian Harsin. Check this out. On Tuesday of this week, earlier this week, February 8th, Auburn updated on its website a section called the Employee Duty to Cooperate Policy, which states that the employee must cooperate with any kind of investigation or review. The craziest part, like I said, about this document is that it was made effective on February 8th, Tuesday, which makes it look like Auburn is just scrambling to try and get this guy out of here. Today in Birmingham, all 14 SEC coaches land for the head coaches meeting in Birmingham. The head football coaches. They'll get their first meeting of Brian Kelly. They'll all be in the same room together, talking, reminiscing about the season, talking about the upcoming year. And then Harsin pulls the door open and he walks into the room. What's the feeling on Harsin when he walks into that room? I mean, is everybody like, bro, I wonder what the room is like. I wonder if they all kind of are like,
Ooh.
you know, like frat brothers. You know, I mean, there's only 14 of us in the world, fellas. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants our jobs. We're making more money than we deserve. I wonder behind closed doors if they like, you know, like kind of go at each other a little bit. Like, Hars, bro, what the hell's going on over there?
Where's she at?
Good Lord. I mean, they are trying to get your ass on the plains, man. I mean, some of the stuff that's coming out of this story, you need to go read it. I'll link it and we can tweet it and put out the link. It's an incredible read just to kind of see behind the scenes of what Auburn is trying to do to get Harsin out. I mean, there is obviously somebody somewhere who has got they have got it out for Harsin. They either are trying to protect their power or they're trying to show their power. Whatever it is, they got some back and forth and a PR nightmare on their hands at Auburn. This feels very Joe Oliva, F. King Alexander, the way that this is being handled. If you read this link, and Lloyd, I'm going to text you. You got it?
I'm about to throw it on Twitter.
We're going to put it up if you want to read it, but it just kind of gives you an idea of how screwed up this situation is. And I don't know the X's and the O's of it, man. I really don't. I don't know behind the scenes what was going on. There was obviously some people that were trying to stir up some stories on Harsin last week that were trying to get him run. But it by all accounts, I mean, I've traded a couple of text messages with some people that I trust over at Auburn, and just kind of read stories like this. None of that stuff seems like it's true.
Sticking.
And, I mean, the defamation stuff that's happening that he may be now
entitled to more money.
I mean, if they fire Harsin without cause, they owe him $18 million. They fired Malzahn a year and a half ago and paid him $21 million. They could be on the hook for football coaches alone $40 million within a 3-year span. I mean, look, not that LSU's the model of consistency and trying to do this stuff, nor have they ever been the PR standard of what's to be held to, but Auburn is going through some stuff right now where they look real far off from being relevant and competing with the stuff that they're dealing with. I mean, they got some internal stuff happening over there that, I mean, this is a soap opera.
Well, this is why Billy Napier didn't take the job, right? I mean, he was offered multiple SEC jobs before he finally took the Florida job this year, but wasn't he offered Auburn last year after what he did at UL? And then the reason he didn't take the job is because Auburn couldn't get out their own way. They were like, well, you can come in here, but we're going to hire your staff.
Right.
We're going to do all of these things for you. We're going to essentially kind of help you run the program. He's like, I don't want any of that. Like, if it's going to be my program, I want to run it my way. If
Yeah, I
you're going
believe,
to run me,
I
let
believe
me
you
do
told
it.
him. I believe you told him if the ship's going to go down, it's going to go down with my
Me.
people.
Yeah. And,
Right? It's not going to go down with me driving it and your people on board.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to be the captain. I don't know who my crew is.
Yeah, right.
But, I mean, and Brian Harsin essentially tried to do the same thing, but from within. He was like, all right, I'll do it your way. And then mid-season, he fires the offensive coordinator. He fires a wide receivers coach and starts bringing in his own people. And you can see that obviously did not go over well with what the Auburn brass thought, because now they're going for his head.
I think he brought a few too many of his own people, though.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what this is Auburn's fault at the end of the day. If you're going to hire somebody, let them do the job. But Auburn, like you said, there's probably somebody going, oh, he thinks he can do that. Watch me do this. And if it doesn't come to bear, like if they're not able to get Brian Harsin out of there, I'm sure he would accept a firing, but you're going to have to pay him the buyout, and then he's going to come back and sue your ass.
Absolutely. No, this is about to get really messy for Auburn. They either need to back away from the table and let this guy do his job.
But why would you want to stay?
No, I know.
How could he stay?
How could he stay? I mean, I don't know how you can really function as an SEC coach if these powerful boosters are after you. I mean, there are, nothing is official because, I don't have any knowledge of the firsthand accounts of what's going on at Auburn, but some of the back room stuff that people are telling you is that, the guy who owns Yellowwood is a big donor and booster of Auburn and has really had some influential power with his, ability to donate money to that school. And it's kind of him behind the scenes that is directing this stuff as far as the money goes, and really kind of over exerting himself into the football coaching stuff probably more than he needs to be. I've also heard that there is a booster who wants Hugh Freeze. It may be the same booster who wants Hugh Freeze, and Hugh Freeze wants the job, and they're trying to find ways to open up that seat for Hugh Freeze to step in there. It would be a incredible day, the day that Bruce Pearl and Hugh Freeze share the same athletic office on the same campus.
You talk about being able to walk into a room together, like, oh, look at the bad boys of the SEC might have to change hands, dude.
Pearl's the number one team in the country, and Hugh's still lighting up scoreboards in the SEC.
So
in the back pages.
So Bruce Pearl was on, I don't know if y'all know Jalen Collins. He played at LSU. He has his own podcast.
Oh, the Raw Room?
Yeah, he was on his show yesterday.
Wow.
And the point guard.
You know what he was getting into?
The point guard came into his office. I don't know. Number one? Is that his number?
I think it's
1 or 0?
Zero.
Yeah, he comes into the room and he has his chain on. And Bruce Pearl's like, hey, look at this. And he shows off his chain. He's like, look at this dude. And Bruce Pearl's sweating. This dude's always sweating.
That's great, dude. Is that Zeb Jasper? No, Katie Johnson.
Katie Johnson.
Katie Johnson is a stud. Yeah. But it is wild to see this story at Auburn, the way that it's going down. And, I mean, you forget to get the number 1 basketball team in the country or, top 5 team.
I almost respect Auburn a little bit for doing it this way, because if you see somebody out, this is what you have to do in college football. If you see somebody out there that you know is going to get snagged and you have the first offer to go get him, at some point you have to be almost like the Arizona Cardinals did when they drafted Josh Rosen, just be like, you know what? There's Kyler Murray sitting on the board. We have the first overall pick again. We're just going to go ahead and get a quarterback. We're severing ties here because we know one's better than the other. If you have the chance to go get a Hugh Freeze who's coached and won in the SEC, like, why would you not just kind of sever ties? They tried to do it the slimy way and get out of it scot-free, but at this point you're going to have to pay if you want to get rid of him. But just bite the bullet, pay him, and get Hugh Freeze in, because that makes you more of a contender than Brian Harsin does. It's almost respectable in a way, but it reminds me of when Les Miles and Nick Saban came up, whenever Nick said he wanted the job back when he went to Florida, and then he wanted to come back to LSU when he took the Miami Dolphins job. If LSU just severs ties with Les, be like, look, sorry, Nick Saban wants to come back. Whatever your bite is, we'll pay it. We're taking Nick back.
Absolutely.
Like, that changes the trajectory of your program, and Auburn has the opportunity to do the same thing with Hugh Freeze. Not the exact same thing, but you have a chance to get a better coach than you have right now. Do it. It doesn't matter the timeline.
Yeah, there's been some comments made by players on Harsin just really not understanding the culture, which I don't think is...
Well, TJ Finley stepped up and said something.
Yeah.
Well,
Supporting?
Yes, he was in massive support of Harsin, obviously because he offered him a scholarship and gave him an opportunity to play. But there's definitely a rift in the locker room of guys that are Harsin guys and guys that want him out.
Sure, there is. You can tell. I mean, just if you look at the transfer portal alone, they've had 18 guys going to the portal. They've had coaches quit after 42 days on the job. I mean, it's just...
Kevin Steele's out.
It's a weird scenario. Did I see that Steele was the defensive coordinator at Miami?
Yes.
Yeah.
Miami is making major moves.
They're making moves, man.
They took Georgia's DB
They're
coach
spending
too.
money.
That's what it takes.
I mean, that's what it takes. They've got commitment of boosters down there who are spending money and paying players. I mean, Trevante Citizen didn't go there for free. I can promise you that from an NIL standpoint. I mean, there's people down there that have now committed to. Miami used to do a lot of their damage. Well, they used to do a lot of their damage was kind of like unproven commodities, like coaches. Like they had like young Jimmy Johnson. They went and hired him from Oklahoma off the staff there. I mean, he was on the job winning.
Switzer guy?
He was a Switzer guy. Yeah, that's how that kind of relationship was formed. Jimmy Johnson was at Oklahoma State. I'm sorry. He was coaching like Barry Sanders in that backfield.
I'll take a chance with that guy.
Right. But Miami is now spending money. They're committed to it. Like they're committed to building it the SEC way, where you're going to have to spend money for facilities. You're going to have to spend money for coaches. You're going to have to spend money on contracts. You're going to have to buy people out. And now you got to get somebody in line to do some NIL deals so you can go get players. It was surprising to see like if they were that committed to lose guys like Shamar Stewart.
Yeah, if you're going to go in, go all in.
You got to get that guy.
Well, he tweeted something like, if it was about the money, I would have stayed home. Like defending his commitment to Texas
That's
A&M.
a lie.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's
Jimbo
a lie,
got him. He got him drinking the Kool-Aid, huh?
Oh, I mean, it's a cult.
I mean, it's amazing.
Well, there's two ways to handle it, right? You can do it the LSU way, where you're having councils and committee after committee and like trying to do it the right way, or you just say, we're not going to get in trouble for any of this right now. Why wouldn't we just go drop as many bags as we can and be as good as we can for as long as we can until they get this thing regulated? Because right now, you can do whatever you want. There's no rules. Like Shamar Stewart, like what are these NIL deals that you're going to see from these guys? Like you're going to see Shamar Stewart where doing what in Texas A&M?
Right.
It's all just it's funny money that they threw around and say, well, it's NIL. Like once that's
come to our school.
Yeah, LSU like half stepped into it. Miami's kind of half stepping into it. Texas A&M went all in. Alabama is all in. Texas is all in.
Yeah.
Cannonball.
Cutcliffe.
If Miami became the U again, college football would be more fun. I agree. College football is better when the U is relevant, and when they're good.
And with the way that college football is changing, like with SEC building like its power conference, you're going to have other conferences or whatever they form. USC is going to have to be a power. Miami's going to have to be a power. And when they see the avenue for them to get in the national championship or at least the playoff,
they will put them.
They're good. Yeah, this is the opportunity for them to get back to being the programs that they were because the doors are wide open.
Cordell Music with the super chat. Appreciate that. SEC Media Day is going to be lit this summer. It is going to be wild. Today in Birmingham with the SEC coaches, they're all getting together today at the SEC offices. Is going to be nuts. To me, that would be a documentary that you would have to watch. I mean, if you could have film rolling on these guys behind these doors and some of the relationships, I wonder if they kind of mess with Harsin. You know what I mean? I wonder if they're like, bro, good Lord. Glad it's you and not me. You know what I mean? Or this is what I'm dealing with over in Baton Rouge or in College Station or in Fayetteville or in Athens or in wherever you are, Gainesville. I mean, all these guys coming together for the first time. You know, Billy Napier will be in that room for the first time as a head coach. And Harsin, some of the stuff he's dealing with just back at his own place is
Well, could you imagine if
wild.
he didn't do it? And he has to come home to that, to his wife and two daughters.
I mean, Lloyd, if you, the more you read about it, the more you just talk to people over there, it sounds like he didn't do it.
It
Sounds like it's somebody like making something up just out of spite to try and.
It feels.
It feels like
high
SEC
school.
football.
It feels like high school burn book,
Yeah,
where they're like, all right, I'm gonna go through his Facebook. Who's that? They have to be doing something. Let's put this story out there and see what cracks. Because they just went down the staff footage, like, oh, she was at Boise State. Harsin was there. Oh, now she's at Auburn. Like, it's easy to connect those dots. And
Sure.
Like, certainly, if we just air this out, something's going to happen. And maybe that Brian Harsin's a good man.
Nobody loves Brian Harsin more than Pete Golding.
Yes.
I mean-
Talk about getting away. Alabama does it again. Gets away scot-free.
Maybe it was Golding that released the story.
Yeah. Dude,
mean-
if Alabama's working playing that kind of chess to checkers, it would be unbelievable.
They could be.
They could be.
Don't overthink it. Don't think they're not. Remember, daily, we are brought to you by Johnson Spillers, our official dentist here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We appreciate them always. Here, I feel like we were coming down the stretch here on this tooth. Just a couple of more weeks, months. It has been a hell of a haul here, and I see your looks out there. I see you staring. I saw you looking at the Italian Sports Hall of Fame banquet on Saturday night.
Oh,
People
we took some-
people with a smile coming in, then that kind of step back when you open your mouth and look at them like, hey,
Ooh.
what happened, buddy? Did you get knocked
We
out
took-
today?
Yeah, we took some headshots yesterday. There was one person not smiling.
Yes.
Might
Not
have
that time to
redo
smile.
those.
Not yet. Whoa. Watch yourself. JohnsonSpillers.com. JohnsonSpillers.com. Help you out with anything. General dentistry, pediatric dentistry. They can help you with Botox as well. Online, JohnsonSpillers.com. JohnsonSpillers.com. And on Facebook, on social media. For being Thursday, a Super Bowl week, it's kind of a slow-moving news day. LSU basketball on the wood on Saturday. LSU women tipping it off tonight versus Georgia. Should be a pretty cool environment for Mulkey's Army. And they'll be there for the 7 o'clock tip-off inside the Maravich Center. Super Bowl 56, as we said, a couple of days away. But you're kind of in that point where how much can you really talk about it? You know what I mean? How much can you really beat the horse of we're betting on Burrow? We're going with Joey. We're riding with Joey. We're riding with 9.
Oh, the storylines are I guess have petered out at this point. Like it's so close now. It's to the point where you just kind of wait for the game to happen. There's really not much more you can talk about. I think media availability is over until what is it? When they let the fans in or whatever, and they get to ask the guy in the wedding dress, all that nonsense gets to happen.
Is that today?
I don't know, but I'm saying that's like the next media event because they're done with like the Zoom calls and all that stuff. They're not doing that anymore. Yesterday was at least Joe Burrow's last day of media availability, I believe. So there's, like you said, there's not much going on until the game kicks. Like something will have to happen.
Burrow's locked in.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
in lock-in mode now. Mason Spillman just left Go-Mart, my favorite convenience store. Shout out to
go.
Tom Granning. Go-Mart out there on Highway 61 in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Natchitoches. Not Natchitoches.
Jesus.
Natchez, Mississippi. On Highway 61. So we're looking forward to talking to Will Wade coming up here at 8 o'clock as the Tigers are getting back against Mississippi State. Mississippi State got beat by Tennessee last night at home. I believe it was a 12-point window of victory there for Tennessee over Mississippi State. Ben Howland's crew is coming in off of a loss. LSU bouncing back versus Texas A&M earlier this week, and we'll talk to Wade about what it means to have Xavier Pinson looking very closer to full strength than he has, bouncing back off that knee injury that he sustained versus Tennessee, and what that does for his team coming down the stretch here. What's the status of Alex Fudge? What's the status of Sharif O'Neal? What's the Tigers going to look like tomorrow night, Saturday night as they take on Texas A&M? We'll get to the bottom of that with Will Wade coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. As we said, if you have a question for Coach Wade, jump inside of the chat. Jump online at YouTube, Facebook, JordyCulottaShow.com, and we can get your question to Coach Wade coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning.
You saw where a certain somebody liked our tweet yesterday.
Eric Musselman.
Musselman.
Is he making his play?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Should we make a run at him, see if we can get the man shirtless on the call?
We would love to get him on for sure. Absolutely, he would be a hell of a
He
get.
knows about us.
I think that he could he could take some of the jabs.
He's
you know
been
what I mean?
He's been on Pardon My Take a couple of times, so
he knows,
he's with it.
He knows the
the
strategy.
media game.
He knows the strategy.
he knows what he's doing.
He does, and he also invites the spotlight too much, not to have it thrown back at him.
I mean, the man loves the spotlight. So I can see him in a world where he would come on the show, and maybe we get both of them on at the same time. A little repartee.
Yes, and we can finally get down to the bottom of who was really coaching that team when you were on staff, Musselman. This LSU team.
The defensive guy.
He was. That was
the
a
defense looks
really
great.
good team that LSU
staff.
had too. Jarrell Martin, Johnny O'Bryant, and the block man, the guy that had all the blocks. My guy, why can't I think of his name? Johnny O'Bryant, Jalen. He had all the blocks. I mean, he was a blocking machine, dude.
Now, if you would have said that, I went to those games. I was watching that team closely. It was running with Jarrell Martin too.
Yeah, Jarrell Martin
did in between the legs dunk.
That's right.
Let's see. Bad day to be a sports guy.
It is. I see what you're looking at over there.
Yeah, but I gotta make sure she's
Get
still
your head
alive.
Get your head out of Harson's office, for God's sakes.
I pulled her up, make sure everybody know who we're talking about.
Drafted by the Celtics. Didn't make it. Played in Europe for a little bit. A really good player. Jordan Mickey. Damn it!
Jordan Mickey, nice pull. It was there. Tip of the tongue.
Yeah, it was there for sure. I just
Damn
couldn't
it.
think of it.
That was a good team, man.
How long was Will Wade into his tenure with that squad?
Oh no, that wasn't Will Wade.
That wasn't Will Wade. Yeah,
that was Johnny
that
Jones.
was Johnny Jones.
That was
Yeah,
Johnny Jones and Eric Musselman.
Yeah.
The next year they got Ben Simmons. If
This
Mickey,
is right when I was going to games
if Mickey and/or Jarrell come back, who knows what that Ben Simmons team would have been like? I mean, you know,
Oh yeah, that was the big talking point the entire time that Ben Simmons was there. It's like if you could get one of these guys,
just one
to
of
stay,
them, just one of them.
But that's how it shows.
And
you
and
what
really
that
and truly,
basketball team was
and really
like.
truly, they both should have stayed.
Mm-hmm.
They both should have come back.
But I think they knew it was such a dumpster fire. Like
Yeah.
we got to get out of here.
I mean, they were the coaches. You know, I mean, really, Musselman. You know, because Musselman was leaving. He had taken the Nevada job.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, they just were. They were that was a good team, though, man. They had somebody beat in the first round of the NCAA's. NC State.
And they got tipped in.
They were up double digits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they were high flying in the first half.
Looked like they could make a run.
They did. They looked like a team where you were like, oh my God, we don't want to play this team.
Didn't they get tipped in at the buzzer?
Yep, got
Yeah.
tipped in at the buzzer. In Philly.
Oof. Little did Ben Simmons know. Next year you'll be at LSU. LSU just played in Philly. Now you're in Philly, not playing. How much money has he given up, Stewie? You said it yesterday.
$19 million.
$19 million to the day.
Ugh.
That because all from not playing, like all game checks he could have collected
No, I think it's fines.
and
stuff,
fines.
too.
Yeah.
It
How can
is.
you walk away from $20 million just
And-
because you? What point are you proving?
And like there are some, if you kind of read in some reports and listen to some things on Simmons, like he's got a spending problem. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he's got a couple of houses, he's got flashy cars, he's got bad
He's
investments.
trying to keep up with the Kardashians.
Absolutely.
That's
You know
a
what I
tough
mean?
life to live. Or
It
you could
is.
just be Pete Davidson and slink in there,
Yeah.
drop the hammer, and kind of
Absolutely.
hang around.
Drive her Bentley.
Yeah.
He
You know what I
hasn't
mean?
cleared a check since October 1st.
Oh my goodness, man.
And that was $8.25 million.
Well, he's out of that money.
Yeah, that's probably done.
Could you
Samuel
imagine
Murphy-
the change in lifestyle he's trying to go through right
Oh, my
now?
God.
Bro, you can't do that. You
can't
go-
do that.
Don't do that. Or go play.
Or go sell that house.
Which one?
Brooklyn was talking about trading James Harden for Ben Simmons. There would be no bigger cancer to put in that locker room than Ben Simmons. He would get eaten alive, in my opinion, in the Brooklyn locker room.
Well, I was watching the NBA last night, and they're saying KD is the only reason that James Harden is still in Brooklyn. Like, KD is the person that's keeping him there.
I don't
like,
get James Harden. You're miserable in Houston where you're no good, and you force yourself out.
Got fat.
You eat yourself out of Houston.
Hell of a move.
And then where else did you want to go?
Well, he had a fat suit, right?
He was saying that he wanted to go to Brooklyn. Well, now you're in Brooklyn, and now you're miserable. It's like,
if you can't play there, you can't play anywhere.
And you think you want to go to Philly? You think you want to go to that fan base?
No shot. Yeah, you're in Brooklyn where nobody watches.
I mean,
like that's the biggest thing about the Nets is that they're able to get away with what Kyrie Irving's doing and what James Harden's doing because nobody's there. Nobody pays attention to the Nets. Like there's more Knicks fans and they're not that good than the Nets who have a super team that nobody watches.
Donnie T says Ben Simmons' game, the way he plays, he can be in the league for at least 15 years. He should be dominant right now, Don. I mean, the thing about Ben Simmons is that he doesn't love basketball. He doesn't really care about it. He's not passionate about it. He cares more about being at Wimbledon.
He just wants to be famous.
Yeah, he just wants to be famous.
He cares about the lifestyle.
That's all he wants.
Being rich.
I mean, he doesn't love... If he loved basketball, he would be playing. I mean, he would just suck it up, deal with it, get back to work. I mean, he makes so many excuses to get away from the game. It's obvious. You just don't love it. And if you don't love it at that level, it doesn't matter if you're a number one pick. It doesn't matter. The schedule's too grueling. The life's too tough if you want to commit to being an NBA basketball player and being really, really good at it. And he takes every excuse to leave it. I mean, it's easy to sit here and call him soft. It's easy to sit here and call him just, a mental midget. You know what I mean? It's easy to do all that. But at the end of it, I just don't think he loves basketball. He just doesn't, he's not passionate about it. He doesn't eat, sleep, drink, think about basketball all the time. He thinks about clothing lines and cars. And luckily for him, in his 20s, he's got enough money to live that life. But without the game, that life is going to be gone in a blink. In a blink. And if he would commit to basketball, I think that you're right. I think that he could be dominant. He could be extraordinary. He could be, there's no comp really for him. He's a standout. He's an outlier. He's a guy that has a different game than everybody else. But the sad part for the fans, the selfish part for the fans is that we probably will never see him reach max capacity, max,
certainly not max effort.
You just will never see him evolve his game kind of bud. I mean, he still can't make a jump shot. He's 6'10" and can't make a 3-point shot.
Won't take one.
I mean, that's just getting in the gym and getting your confidence better. So when that moment comes again, there's no way that you're going to cower down to a layup in a conference championship type setting in the playoffs of the NBA. I mean, that's just confidence. That's just gym time. That's just, hey, man, get in there, refine your skills so your muscle memory never leaves you like that ever again.
He spends all summer in the gym. Like, he posts videos all summer.
Yeah, but like Tom Brady said, man, if you got to post and tell me how hard you're working, you ain't working. You know what I mean? Like, stay off. Like Burrow said earlier this week. If somebody asked Burrow, I thought it was a great answer. Joe, do you have any advice to young athletes? Yeah, stay off social media with your workouts. Nobody cares about that stuff. Nobody cares how hard you're working. And if you have to show me how hard you're working, you're probably not working that hard. And Ben Simmons always being in the gym, you know how easy it is to get B-roll of Ben Simmons in a gym to cut up into a 3-minute social media clip? Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, he can spend 30 minutes in there. We got our stuff, Ben. Pack up. Let's hit the beach. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't need to see that stuff. But that stuff was pretty evident at LSU. It really was. I mean, looking back on that documentary while he was here at LSU, he didn't really love basketball, and he has to look back on that and cringe at some point in his life.
Now,
maybe not now. Dude, I mean, you still look at it; he still looks like the same person.
I know,
but that's paying off now. Though, like his work ethic when he was at LSU, like that's showing now, like in the NBA, because he doesn't have a jump shot, and it's been all of these years since he's been at LSU, and he still doesn't have a jump shot. He doesn't want to shoot in the clutch.
My thing is they're asking you to do the most fun part about basketball, shooting, and he don't want to go do that. Like, if you told me, if you gave me Ben Simmons' body and skill set, like, dude, just go practice shooting, that would be the dream.
And
like,
money.
He's good at all of the other things that are hard about basketball, Like all shooting is, like you said, is practice, but most of it's fun. Like, why would you not want to go out there and shoot? I just don't understand. And did you talk about that Showtime thing? Like, even watching it when it came out, I was like, this is not a good look for him.
No, it's a terrible
look. It was like
look.
Pre-draft.
Well,
too.
I mean, when he was like, I'm not going to school.
Yeah,
I mean,
he never went.
Like, you were like, dude, okay, but don't say that. You know what I mean?
He
like,
was proud of it.
Yeah, it was like,
I'm too good for this.
I get, but you're 18. I'd have done the same thing. If I was Ben Simmons at 18 and had that skill set and know that I was going to be the number one pick and you put a camera on me, I'd say some stuff that I'd be like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, can we scrub that? Like, no, it's out there, bro.
It's on Showtime.
It's out there, man. 300,000 people have downloaded it.
It's still up. It's still out there.
Yeah, it's still out there, man. Donnie T, who would you rather, Zion or Ben? Neither. Really? I mean, what do you get from either?
Great trade.
I don't know if Zion has told you yet that he hates the game as much as Ben has, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe Zion loves the game more than Ben does. What I've gotten from Ben more than anything is that he just doesn't like basketball. He could play. I mean, Philly wants to pay you a $100 million contract. You got a max deal with Philly. They want to handle their side of the deal. They want to pay you. And you just don't show up because you have your feelings hurt because you couldn't make a layup in the playoffs and the fans turned on you? Bro, I mean, where do you want to go where you don't think that's going to happen?
Wimbledon.
I mean, L.A. would do that to you. Boston would eat you alive. Oklahoma City would let you know about it. I mean, that's basketball. Get over it. Get back to work. It sounded like Shaq DM'd him that the other night on TNT, and Shaq like air raided Ben Simmons was like, yeah, Simmons responded. He hated what I said. He thought I should have had his back because we were LSU brothers. Ben, come on, don't claim to like LSU now, dude. You know what I mean? Like, but why wouldn't Simmons in that moment? Why would you not take that? Like, that's an old head in the game who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, a guy who's been dominant in the sport, a guy who obviously cares about you. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't trying to blast you on TNT saying what you were. He DM'd you. You know what I mean? Or no, maybe it was. It was Simmons
on TV.
It was Simmons DM'd him
Shaq.
For blasting Simmons on TV. So,
but
I mean, it's
Shaq
fair.
has probably reached out to him before, and this is just like, how many ways can I say it? All right, I'll say it on national television. You know, like, maybe this will get his attention. If this is what he's watching.
But I don't think this is the first time Shaq has like said something about Ben Simmons, like his mentality, like saying like you need to be better because you're a superstar. If you want to be better, if you want to be a superstar, you'll be a superstar.
Jeff Marson, the shade of Zion is totally BS and unjustified. I know people see Zion slim and in shape, but hey, let's go all with the lazy Zion narrative. Jeff, send your picture in and explain your position, please, because there is a commercial that they're airing right now on Zion. What commercial is that? Mountain Dew.
He's drinking Mountain Dew, playing video games.
He looks like Tractor Trailer. Rest in peace, Robert. But he looks like Oliver Miller. I mean, he looks enormous. I mean, this guy is.
Well, he couldn't have paired with the worst brand. Mountain Dew is probably the worst
a
thing
cube
on the
of sugar
planet for you.
I mean, just a bottle of sugar. It's unbelievable, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not going to bait Ben Simmons and Zion Williamson. Both of them have just got to get on the floor. I mean, they're just so good. They're so good of basketball players, and I hate that as a fan you can't watch them. Will Wade will be on the wood tomorrow night, Saturday night, with his group taking on Mississippi State. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. I mean, he looks like he's sitting in a college dorm room. I mean, that is the number one pick in the draft right there on the right side in the NBA. He can't even get his neck over to look at the guy.
He looks uncomfortably fat.
He does look uncomfortable. Like he wants to sit up, pull his shirt down, and kind of like flatten out a little bit. Yeah. We've all been there, right? Where you're like, oh, this is a bad angle.
It's the opposite of the don't smoke weed girl. And have you ever seen that commercial where the girl's all flat on the couch? Do you remember that ad?
Yes. Becky, you look high.
Yeah.
Will Wade next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by GoFlow IV. GoFlow IV is a part of our Super Bowl Square giveaway, which, remember, email Katie. Carpool Queen just walked in. Is that right, Katie? Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com. Huh?
Is it right that I just walked in, or to email me?
No, to email you for the Super Bowl squares. Yeah, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com. Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com, where we are going to have a great Super Bowl giveaway. Fred's is in for a $50 bar tab. GoFlow is in for a $100 gift card for whatever you want to do over there. We've got some merch that we're going to give away. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they got options. They got options. Options.
Food and drink.
We've got merch that we're going to give away. And all you got to do is email Katie for our Super Bowl squares, your Super Bowl squares, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com. Remember, we are daily brought to you by GoFlow IV. GoFlow IV. Get over there and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show, and you'll receive 15% off of your first visit over there at GoFlow on Jefferson Highway, 7370 Jefferson Highway, and online at GeauxFlowIV.com, GoFlowIV.com. Will Wade next here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Who's stealing all the bottled water? There was a whole.
Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. All right, LSU men's basketball back in Baton Rouge. It's good to say that, as they've been away from Maravich Center for a while here, and they just gotten a nice win as they beat Texas A&M 76-68 on the road. They'll look to keep that rolling versus Mississippi State on Saturday night. Their head coach, Will Wade, joins us back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Make sure and check out our friends Anthony Piazza and crew over there in the South Down Shopping Center. Compliments of Phil's Oyster Bar every time that Will Wade stops by the show. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing good. What was your biggest takeaway from the road win the other night versus Texas A&M? It looked like your crew got right, especially in starting the game.
Well, that we won. I mean, that was the number one objective. Was that, look, we just had to find a way to win, whatever it took, however we had to make it happen. Like, we just had to find a way to win. We knew it wasn't going to be pretty. We were going to be rusty. We hadn't practiced but one day with basically the group again for the first, month or five, in the last month or 5 weeks. That's the first time we practiced the day before the game with the, with the group we were going to play. So we knew it would be a little bit rusty. We knew there'd be some things we need to work out over the next week. But, really just to go in there and find a way to win. However we could get it done, we had to find a way to get it done, and that's what we did.
Xavier Pinson returns to action and is starting that starting lineup that you rolled out, as you mentioned, 15-0 when they start the game, which ended that 3-game losing streak for you. What impact did he have the most on the game in going back and watching it?
I mean, look, just his presence. one, gives a lot of our guys confidence. He's got a calming presence to him. He's like having another coach on the floor. He understands game situations. He understands time and score. He understands, if you've turned the ball over 2 straight possessions, you need to come down and run a play that gives us some time to score. And he understands and can execute what we want executed. Part of our problem was, at Vanderbilt, when Vanderbilt goes on their run, we got to guard them for 25, 30 seconds, and we go down and, we're calling something and trying to get it to the second side of the floor and third side of the floor. We just shoot it off the first side of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And we go down and play offense for 8 seconds, and then we got to come back down and guard them for 25 seconds. That's demoralizing.
Yeah.
And with Penson out there, he makes sure that, what we want to do is executed. And, we're not an 8-0 run's not able to balloon into 16-0 because it's a game of runs, and we're going to go on runs and they're going to go on runs. But, the runs and the leads aren't able to balloon as much with him out there.
Yeah. Will Wade joining us. He'll be back into action, LSU basketball, Will, on Saturday night versus Mississippi State. One of the things that is pretty obvious when you're able to start Penson, you're able to kind of put people back in their roles, and Eason was back there. I heard you in your post-game press conference talking about it, and we mentioned it on Wednesday morning. When he's going up against 4s and 5s, he's a lot more efficient offensively than when he was in the starting lineup and other people's 3s were checking him. That really kind of helps with the flow of your team as well. That kind of sets everything back to pace, right?
Helps everything. I mean, the top 7 guys, the guys that all played 20 or more minutes, for it all to work, it's pretty critical that all of them are healthy and available. Now obviously X and you saw with Murray at Auburn, there's some of them that we don't really have much of a workaround for. There's some others that we do have more of a workaround for. But those top 7, the 8th is getting 10 or 15 minutes, and we can kind of figure that out based on matchups and who practices well and game and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But those top 7 are all critical because they all work together and they all work off of each other. And having those top 7 where we can get into that rotation and get into what we want to get into is very, very important.
What are the challenges that Mississippi State presents on Saturday? I know they lost last night, but this is a team that's been playing pretty good over the last couple of weeks.
Well, they're huge, first off. They play old school basketball. They mash it inside. They've got 2 really good big guys with Garrison Brooks, transfer from North Carolina, and certainly Tolu Smith that they had last year who killed us. Those guys are big and strong and do a great job inside. Iverson Molinar is the 2nd leading scorer in the league to J.D. Note, who killed us at Arkansas. They've got Moore, a good shooter, transfer from NC State. DJ Jeffries, top 40 player, transfer from Memphis. They got depth off the bench. They played 9 guys. They bring Rocket Watts, transfer from Michigan State. They got Garcia and Matthews, a couple freshmen that they recruited. They got Javion Davis, a transfer from Alabama. So they got great depth. They're huge. They're physical. They're very good defensively, and they're 3rd in the country in offensive rebounding. So that's something we're going to have to get fixed because we obviously gave up way too many offensive rebounds at A&M.
Yeah, I could hear in your voice the offensive rebounds was stressing you out, and then the turnover number as well with the 22. What do you do to pay attention to that to get prepared for Saturday night?
Well, I mean, we're not going to beat many teams giving up 22 offensive rebounds and turning it over 22 times. It's a miracle we scored 76 points. But look, we got to get all that under control. We're going to continue to work on valuing the ball. We are making some progress. Our turnovers against A&M, most of them were against the press or getting set outs against their defenses. A&M does lead the league in turnovers forced and steals. They're actually better than us in league play in those 2 categories. So, they can create some problems with that. But we've got to play under control. We've got to play with better poise on offense. We're so kind of helter-skelter on defense. You got to be able to downshift in gears and play extremely hard and play like we do defensively. Then you got to downshift and have a little bit of poise on offense, and we're still trying to strike that balance.
You mentioned it earlier in the season. We saw him come on in the midseason point, and here he is down the stretch looking like he is very much matured and going to be something that is that somebody is going to have to game plan for and try and watch out for is Justice Williams. How have you liked his evolution here in his freshman season when he was pushed into it very early in his basketball career?
Look, he's doing everything he can to prepare and to play as well as he can. I love the fact that he's all in with us. He's bought in. He wants to do well. He studies. Look, some of his issues are he's just not strong. He wasn't here for our summer strength and conditioning program. He's just, he's a little wobbly out there, and that's what you get when you have a freshman. But he's going to be a dynamic, very, very good player for us. He's getting better. We're able to play him, with Gaines and Penson, we're able to play him more off the ball. He's more of a combo guard. He's better right now as a two guard. And so, we were able to play him a little bit more off the ball, which was huge against A&M, and he's somebody we're going to continue to play, and he's going to continue to progress.
How about the status of Fudge and O'Neal going into Saturday?
Well, Fudge had his leg didn't feel real good. He didn't practice the day before. And, like I said, we're going to see who practices well, and then we'll kind of roll out there the eighth that eighth guy that we feel like practices the best and gives us the best chance given the matchup.
Yep. Saturday should be a great environment for LSU tipping it off against Mississippi State. I know that the last month has not been easy for anybody around the program. What has the message been to the group to stay focused? Because I know that has been the task, just to stay on point and keep working, correct?
Yeah, look, everybody can do good work when the conditions are great. That's not real difficult. If you can't do that, you're just flat out incompetent. And we don't have anybody who's incompetent. But look, the real test of your team and of your program comes when it's, when the times are tough and when the chips are down. How do you respond? How do you fight back and come out swinging? And I think that's been the message with our guys, and they've been great. And so we don't make excuses. We just gotta find a way. And we were close in some of those games,
yep.
And we just couldn't close them out. And it was disappointing for everybody. And I understand. I think I said it the other day. Like, I understand everybody's disappointment, and that's part of it. And as a head coach, that's part of it. When you put yourself out there, like I do sometimes, and you ask for buy-in from people, and you ask the fans to be all in with you, and you ask for support. And when they give you that support and it doesn't go well, yeah, they turn on you. That's the way it works. And I totally understand that. That's part of building a program, is you got to put yourself out there to get people excited and to get people fired up. And when they don't see a return on their emotional investment or their financial investment to come to games, and yeah, they get pissed.
Yeah.
And I look at that's fine by me. I'd rather it be that way than me just sit in my office all day and not try to engage people and not try to get people excited about our program, and then everybody just doesn't care when we lose. But it's certainly been tough. It's been unfair for our guys, and more than anything, I'm fair game. You can fire me, you can run me out of here, you can do whatever you want. That's just that's what comes
easy.
with
Easy.
No, I'm just saying that comes. You can say whatever you want about me. That comes with the territory. That's all part of it. But for our guys, they're not like we haven't played hard.
Yeah.
Maybe part of the first half of that Vanderbilt game we came discombobulated, but we played hard every time. We just had a few more limitations on us, and we're playing in the toughest league in the country.
Without question.
And so everybody's really good, and so it was tough sledding. But that's all part of it, and hopefully we've got that behind us now. We can surge here down the stretch, and Saturday's going to be a huge turning point for that. We've got to find a way to play really well Saturday and build off of what we did at A&M.
You mentioned, I know Ron was trying to needle you into another soundbite. Easy, Ron. But you
was?
Ron Higgins, who's always kind of going at you and trying to get you into a soundbite. Sometimes you'll bite, but he asked you if you had ever been through something like this personally before, and you had not with your team. I could see the bags under your eyes against Texas A&M on what this is, just kind of what you've gone through. Did you trust your process through the last month and kind of stick with Things, even though you were in unfamiliar territory?
Yeah, you don't change a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've won a lot of games doing it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really change much. You can't, when you're winning, your process and your organization and how you do things keeps you grounded in the winning. And when you're losing, the process and organization keeps you grounded. Grounded and lets you know that the better days are ahead. So you can't really, you can make some tweaks on some things. And I tried to lighten the pressure on the guys a little bit. I felt like they were tense and they were, that they weren't going to play as well tense. So I tried to lighten some of that up a bit with the guys and some of our processes and routines. But no, you got to stick to that. That's what keeps you grounded when things are going well, and that's what keeps you moving forward when things aren't going as well as you want, when the results aren't going as well as you want. So yeah, we stick to what we do. What we do works. It's been successful, and that's the way it works. I mean, this league is just brutal, and everybody's good, and everybody's got really good players, or at least a couple of them that can beat you on any night. I mean, Coach Williams and I from A&M, we were talking about it before the game. He's like, everybody's just eating their own. So the league's so tough. It's going to be so hard to, sustain anything in the league because of just how good everybody is and how tough everybody is. And so, it's going to be tough sledding, and that's what we signed up for. That's what you want. And, we got to work our way through it.
Outdoor jogs in this beautiful South Louisiana weather? You still on the treadmill for the jogs?
I was on the treadmill this morning, but I ran outdoors this weekend, so it was good.
What's the speed on the treadmill? What number are we hitting?
We fluctuate. We go between 6.4 and 7.2.
Okay. How's the incline?
0. No incline.
Boot up.
I should do a negative incline if I could. I go down.
Coach, we stay booted up over here, man. We'll see you Saturday night.
Thanks, guys. Boot up.
You got it.
Boot up.
There he is, Will Wade, checking in this morning. They'll play going Mississippi State. Little wager? Yeah.
I don't know, Jordy. I mean, this is a hard one for me. I have a lot of feelings around it, honestly.
It sounds like you want to pull for LSU.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
It's okay.
It's
We can
Made
talk
her
it
a
out here
homer.
if you want to talk it out. Remember, every time Will Wade stops by, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Was in there yesterday. Sat right next to Richard Lipsy and Scott Woodward.
did?
Table over from us.
Kingmaker.
That's what happens when you go into Phil's, man.
Literal.
You see all the power. They're always there, as well as the common folk like us are in there.
room.
That's right.
They
Eat a
back
little
rooming?
raw
the back
oysters.
back, but the
Absolutely.
front back.
First table on the right. Tuck in that back
yeah.
room. It's hard to even see them in the back
It
room.
was nice just to get a glimpse of the thing.
It was.
They got some doors over there
was.
that aren't doors.
I know.
Watch where you lean.
Paneling.
Frank Wilson, first time back there. I said, "That's a door. That's a door." I said, what goes on back there? I said, "The stuff we need to go take care of." That's exactly right. Push that thing open. But Phil's Oyster Bar. So what's the problem, Katie? Are you trying to convert? Do you want to convert right here
No,
on
it's not a
on the
problem.
podcast? Do you want to become an
I
LSU
mean,
fan here?
no, I
Out
think
loud. I
you're-
know that you fell in love with Kim Mulkey on Monday. You dressed like her.
I liked
going
Kim
to
Mulkey
her.
before that.
Had her tiger stripes on with her purple jeans. She walked in there and stole the show.
Kindred
I
spirits.
understood the assignment
Yes,
on
you
that one.
Yes.
did.
Turns
You're
out you gotta
regularly
update your
wearing
gear.
purple. I don't know if today was
I am wearing
coincidental or
purple.
accidental
It
or
was
on purpose.
it was accidental.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Got caught
Sounds
there
good.
wanting to say something. You also had a little butterfly effect there with Will Wade just coming through. You could tell in the eyes that you wanted to.
A little flutter in her voice.
That's right. Maybe you want to send a shot
Those
over to
speeds
Willie.
are really good on the treadmill.
That's right.
Hey, they
I'll jog with you, Coach.
If you want to race.
we put on 6.9.
Leave your decimal out.
Too fast. It's too fast.
So what's the problem? Katie? Do you
It's
want to
not a
become an
problem.
LSU fan?
Honestly, it's not a problem.
Or you
but-
just want to admit now publicly that you are?
No,
an
I do
LSU
not.
fan?
I am a
Okay.
bulldog
Okay.
through and through.
All right.
I mean,
Keep it
that is
tucked
where I
in.
went to
Keep it
school,
tucked
but I
in.
like all these guys.
The old Buffalo
I like
Bill
Will
effect.
Wade. I'm trying to explain. If y'all
All right,
just
go ahead.
give me a second. I mean, I like Will Wade. I like the guys on the team. I mean, I'm committed to that. I have,
this is what you're torn over?
relationships. Well, because I like them and I want them to be successful. But tomorrow night, Saturday night, whatever, they're playing my alma mater.
Do you know more?
So, I mean, you put yourself in that situation. I guess you can't.
Easy call,
I mean,
yes,
if you
right.
moved
I'm
to
in bed with
Starkville
Will
and
Wade
worked
every
on a
night,
show there.
and I would not
Plenty of room in there.
cheat on Wade at all.
I mean, I don't know how.
The
else
question
to-
was about a wager. Somehow you kind of went there organically, which tells me that you're battling some demons up top. That you are something about LSU is keeping you up at night. That you're a
last year
fan
we
of
wagered,
LSU.
And I beat
Give me
y'all.
the-
We beat
give me-
y'all in
give me the-
basketball
give me
and
the
baseball.
cowbell.
No, not now.
Okay, well then with double or nothing on Saturday
Okay.
night.
So
what
what?
does that mean?
I don't know. I
How do you
guess
double
What,
up
like
on the
double
two
ring?
cowbells.
I have multiple cowbells.
Oh
So
God.
double fisting.
what do I do? What do I do if LSU wins?
You can finally admit your allegiance to LSU publicly, that you are battling. Obviously.
I don't hate LSU. I mean, I sit here and support them every day of my life.
I don't know what's a good wager for Katie.
Oh, she would have to wear.
I mean, if
LSU,
we're gonna-
she'd
if-
have to wear LSU garb to Mississippi State baseball game.
If we're gonna double bell,
Oh no.
Yeah, that would
Not
be a
doing
good
that.
bet. That's
Sorry.
a good bet. That's
I'll already get a
that's
lot of
good
help
bet.
from like my college.
you know what
friends.
it is? A
Like,
Matuk jersey to the LSU baseball
Oh.
series.
Oh, y'all.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
you
do
got
that.
it. You
no
got,
cowbell either.
You got
Sorry.
to.
Yeah.
He rung the cowbell.
He didn't. is the
So
thing.
really,
No.
you could to your friends, you could sell it as that you're promoting the show.
I do.
No. We know that you
Like
do.
currently.
But this, I know you do.
This makes you smile.
But
yes?
this is the losing bets excuse.
Damn, Jordy, you're putting me in a hard place. I mean, I love Mikey.
I know. No,
So,
no.
like, I'd
I
love
know.
to wear his jersey and support him, but I can't do that at a Mississippi State game.
All right. We'll
I mean,
figure
I'm
your
sorry.
wager.
We'll
Yes, you
figure
can.
something else out, but not doing it.
Really? You're running from that one? I guess. What if we
Yeah.
up Jordy's stakes?
She doesn't want that smoke.
What would we up it to?
I guess I would wear a Mississippi State baseball jersey to an LSU series.
Shit.
He's matching your. He's matching.
I don't know.
your
I gotta
deal.
think about this.
What's there to think about? That we're both on an even playing
Fine.
field.
Oh,
Fine.
the deal.
Wait,
signed.
hold on.
Fine.
Hold
I'm
on.
not gonna be a little
Thank
bitch
you.
about it like
Thank
you
you.
were last year.
Thank you.
Fine. I will do it.
Jordy
all
has
right.
to bring a cowbell to a football game in Tiger Stadium.
You
That's
can't
it.
do that in Tiger Stadium and get confiscated at the gate.
Okay. We still
Yeah.
have a deal. We have a deal. Deal is on. Deal is on. Great deal.
Jersey for jersey.
Jersey
So
for jersey.
And wait, here at the series here?
Is this your series here?
I'm not even sure.
Gonna check.
Oh no,
on
you
that.
have to go to. It's at Mississippi State, isn't it? Then we already
Well, if it is,
planned
we're
it.
all
At-
going.
Is it at the Dude?
I think so. She's gonna wear the Matuk jersey
Well, that's
at
a
the
great
Dude.
opportunity for us to all go.
Wow.
Because everybody
Yes.
wants to
Wow.
go anyway.
So this is actually a tougher bet
I
for
will
you for
get-
sure
I'm gonna get
because the game
torn up
the
if
game
that
yeah
ends
you'd
up
have
happening.
to because the game is going to be
It is at Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. Oh boy.
So
Yeah.
then you're going to Starkville to that series and wearing a
Which is
jersey.
fine, you know what I mean. Nobody knows me there. I can just kind of blend in, but everybody knows you there. And if you were to walk in with a Matuk jersey, and we would probably go just white LSU staircase lettering 8 on the back, maybe even
Yeah,
get
I
a
feel
little
like people
personalized
ignore
little Allagood on that
Ooh.
nameplate,
Name,
compliments
image,
of
and
our
likeness.
friends over at Red Stick.
Jeez.
So this is all coming down to the basketball
Wow, you're
game
really
on
just
Saturday
building
night.
onto this.
I mean,
The
we're
basketball
gonna go
game
in. We gotta
Saturday
go in
night.
I
deep.
guess.
Right? Basketball game Saturday night. Just win or loss, or are we going by the spread?
I think just win or loss. That's what we
Think it
usually
will-
do.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
I love that. You
Straight
can't
up.
keep
She
putting
has
the chips in the
confidence.
middle of
Straight
the
up.
table, dude.
Finally,
I mean,
the
why
confidence
not?
starting
If
to come
we're
back
doing
over
it
there.
They're hanging over here.
Yeah.
To the purple topped Katie Allagood.
I mean, I like purple.
Sure.
Sure.
Live gold.
I said that to Jordy
Yeah.
in text the other night. I said, I think I'm living purple, loving gold, or whatever it is, and I'm scared. I don't
Cheesy.
understand what's happening.
So
Easy
cheesy.
line that was.
Who came up with that?
Is that how it
Seriously,
goes?
somebody got a
Live
raise.
Purple, love gold.
I don't even know which
I
one.
don't even
Which
know
way
this.
it
Don't
goes.
ask
That's
me.
still a thing.
Love
I still see
purple,
that.
live
No,
gold.
it's not.
Oh, it's
It's
not?
100% not up there.
No
Oh,
way.
I thought I
No
still
way.
saw that around.
Somebody else came in and was like, scratch that.
Give
Oh, I
those
didn't
billboards
think it
to
was
Gordon.
bad.
Let's
Yes.
we're redoing this.
Oh, I didn't think
What
about
it-
it
yeah,
that
I
way.
don't know. I don't even
didn't
know what
think
it
was
is
that
now.
Terrible.
It's
What's the
just
bet?
cheesy. No, the bet's great.
Look what
Yeah, the
Michael
bet's great.
says in the comments. Tell Katie, hold your allegiance to your school. This is totally in his favor. It's not a fair bet. I think it is a fair bet. I mean, it was
not
an
a fair
unfortunate
bet.
loss last night to Tennessee. I mean, I was like standing up watching that game, but we're still a pretty good team, and I think it's a good matchup.
Somebody in the chat said feet picks and LSU foot
Oh.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
DM her.
Ole Miss lost last
What's
night
your
to
price?
Alabama, so that was what made my night. Okay.
Dre Rhodes, better bet. Katie has to wear a Matuk jersey for baseball. Jordy has to wear a Dak jersey in Tiger
football.
Stadium in the fall
That's
for the
bet.
losers.
That's fair.
That's a good bet. That's my
Get outta
boy
here,
Dre.
Dre.
Shout out to Dre.
Well, which one is it going to be? I mean,
and LSU and Mississippi State's coming here next year. That's the bet.
Yeah, that is the bet.
That's the bet.
but I won't be able to know if
bet.
you do it.
You'll be here.
Yeah, and we'll take a picture.
Yeah, but you would probably
document
take it off and you'll run it. You'll carry it in your clear bag and go in there and put it on. Take a picture privately somewhere and take it off.
Possibly.
You don't know that. You wouldn't know.
I do know that. Yeah.
I do know that.
I do know that.
I do.
I mean, I wouldn't wear it the whole.
You're probably
game.
right. You're probably right. And you don't have to wear the Montauk jersey the
Okay.
whole game. You know, I mean, we just have to get in there and ridicule you and let people point and laugh for a little bit, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Take your shirt off and
Me.
we're good.
No big deal.
Same thing that they're going to do with me in the Dak costume.
Okay, wait. So are we doing baseball or are you wearing it to football?
No, that's
really...
no.
Well, I
so
mean,
that's
it
the bet.
makes no sense for me to wear a Mississippi State jersey to a Mississippi State function.
That's
I could
true.
just blend
Nobody
in,
cares.
and I
You're
could
right.
really, and people would be like, "Who is this guy?"
You're
you know
right.
what I mean? Like
Oh,
nobody
yeah, big
cares.
fan.
Except that we
Right.
would document it and video.
Yeah,
it.
but
Yeah,
still,
we can-
Nobody knows.
But yeah,
you would be
yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah.
ones kind of
Katie,
pointing and
this new
laughing.
deal is good for you.
If you show up,
Okay.
it is better for you.
Yes.
It is
It's way better for you.
All right, so
Look,
Dak to
your
a
agent
football
just showed
game.
up.
Dak to a football game,
Lawyer.
and then Matuk to baseball series.
Right,
Yes.
like you have to wear an LSU jersey to
The dude.
Starkville, and I would have to wear a Mississippi State jersey to Baton Rouge.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
that sucks.
That does suck.
Okay.
That sucks.
It's a great bet though.
See, I'd
Wait,
make them
okay.
wear it like all day. I'd make it an all
Official.
day. Ooh, shaking on
It's
it.
official.
Ooh.
Ooh, we got a bet.
That is official.
That's a bet.
Damn
That's
it.
a
That's a
bet.
bet. And I'll ring that damn cowbell too. if they
Okay,
lose.
thank you, Jordy. That's sweet.
All right.
That's sweet.
It's probably like a year to the day since the last bet.
Was
that
it on
he
the basketball game or was it on a baseball
It was on
game?
baseball.
It was
Yeah, I think it was
baseball,
on
but
baseball.
I shot
It was
for
on
it
baseball.
in
Yeah, you
basketball,
made it.
and I
Golly,
made the
she
shot.
drained it.
Yeah.
You didn't even think I did. You never even turned around. You're like, oh, well, no better luck next time. And I was screaming, like, I made it, though.
It's on video. It's documented.
It is on
It
video.
was.
Hung on the rim a little bit.
It was a good shot. It was a good shot.
It was a good
Little
shot.
home rims.
Noah says Jordy should have to wear a Mississippi State jersey to LSU Ole Miss in the box.
Hey Noah, get back to
Oh,
class here.
Noah.
buddy. If you're not
I
in
love
class
that.
and you got the time to type in, why isn't your ass here? Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders, rmb-builders.com. Get in touch with them if you're looking for a custom design home. If you are looking for a remodel to a home that you're living in now, or a rent house or an office, get in touch with them. They've got a commercial license as well. rmb-builders.com. They've helped us out everywhere. Katie's house, my house, over here at the Noodle. Get in touch with them if they can help you out. They also bring back all of our podcasts, which, by the way, mic'd up podcasting now. All of the spots where you can get the Jordy Culotta Show podcast, you can also get mic'd up podcast. So make sure that you are subscribed there to mic'd up podcast. RMB sponsors ours. Mic'd up podcasts are wide open. If you're interested in doing that, let me know. Online at rmb-builders.com. rmb-builders.com is where you can find them online. We're going to talk to Ben Mintz coming up here in the next couple of minutes about some Super Bowl prop bets, some things that's going on. I believe Mintzy's going to be in South Louisiana, in Lake Charles, with PFT and Big Cat, and
Lake
making
Charles?
money
That's a crew
Why Lake
right
Charles?
there.
at the Penn Gaming, at the Barstool Sports
Oh,
book.
that's right. Okay.
See if we can't get a swing through here at the Noodle.
That would be excellent. Or we need
Okay.
to go to there. We need to go
Possibly.
to the sports book with
Yes.
them. Put some tickets
That'd
down.
be cool.
All right, we're going to talk to Ben Mintz next when we come back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Driven and powered by our friends over at Go Chevrolet. Check them out online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. GEAUXChevrolet.com. Boot up on Saturday night. There is a bet and a wager on the line. Don't forget, we've got Super Bowl squares as well. We've got Super Bowl squares that we are taking part in this year, and you can take part in. All you have to do is email Katie at jordyculattashow.com, Katie at jordyculattashow.com. $15 a square with a really cool giveaway that includes Fred's, Go Flow, and a bunch of merchandise from all of us over here at FM Digital Media. Email Katie at jordyculattashow.com. Ben Mintz when we come back. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn
and maintenance company of the undisclosed location.
Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com.
Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU bluewater.com.
Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com.
We are right now. Brian, I see your comment. Holy cow, $45 for a half gallon of margaritas. But we're sitting here talking about it, and I'm telling you, best margaritas in town. Best chips in town. Best dip in town. I mean, it is. I'd pay $80 for a half gallon of their margaritas.
Well, they branded it for the Super Bowl. It's a orange margarita. It's a Satsuma margarita that had the Joe Cool.
I love
so they
that.
got a little Bengals
That
flair
is so
to it.
cool.
Sean likes to do that kind of stuff whenever.
Wait, is that the margarita?
That's
that
what
he
we,
brought over?
Yeah.
Some
We
good
put
stuff.
we put a little floater in there if you're lucky. Get the
So
little
good.
extra shot of tequila in there.
If anyone's having a Super Bowl gathering, y'all need to call Modesto. It is amazing. Amazing.
Don't sleep on the dip trio. That's what's the chips are fire. A little seasoning on there. You can almost eat them by itself.
Yes,
But
you
if you
can.
get a little black beans, a little queso, and the salsa,
so
a little
good.
spicy. But if you like it like that, it's fire.
It is so
I like it
good.
like
The
that.
best
I
in
do.
town, 100%. Y'all give him a call.
Is Ben not answering over there?
He's not answering. I'll stay on him.
Who's the least reliable you think you have? Is it Mintzy? And not about reliable, I mean early mornings get them.
Yeah, but he's here every time.
I know,
Like, he'll
but yeah,
be
that's
here.
what I'm saying. But like first call, you're like, I don't really think he's gonna answer.
Probably
Like
Mincy.
you're waking him up probably with your phone call.
Probably Mincy.
Yeah, my guy.
But it's an hour later there, right? 9:30?
Yeah,
He
right?
should be rolling.
is.
Huh? He should be rolling.
Well,
That's what I
Barstool
thought.
doesn't have like a time.
That's
Whenever
true.
you show up, you show up.
Well, I mean,
They just
just
pull
being
up at the
awake,
office.
I guess.
Yeah.
Getting on
Tom
with your
Granning,
day.
how hard is it to get into Phil's on a Friday night? We got you, Tom. It's all good. We'll get you in.
They're huge in there. Sorry, it's not hard.
Yeah,
Tons
no.
of tables, chairs, huge bar.
Yeah,
I think
it's
he's
big.
talking back room.
Yeah, he's trying to
Um,
a little backward action.
I don't know, Tommy. I don't know, Tommy.
We got you all good.
Yeah, you're great, Tom.
Yeah, Jordy got you sitting at the bar. I got a party for 5. You figure it out.
Jordy sent me.
That would probably play.
Yeesh.
It would.
How far back are we going?
All right, so LSU playing on Saturday night versus Mississippi State. We've got a wager on the line. We've also got Super Bowl squares that are open if you want to jump in. Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com. Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com. Our watch party on Sunday going to be brought to you by Modesto, by our people over at Good Eats. Sean Courtney. Don't let them just cater our Super Bowl party. Let them cater your watch party. We've done it a couple of times here. We ate the leftovers for a couple of days, which were fantastic. I might even push away Sunday evening, not eat anymore, just to leave a little bit for the week.
There should be some. There should be some leftovers. They're doing it to the nines. Yeah, they're doing it to the nines.
That's sweet of you to do that.
God, thank you. Thank you.
I might even leave y'all
Thank
some
you.
food for the week.
That's right. Push away.
Away.
Roca was great earlier this week. Our guy
Came through in
Sean.
the clutch for you.
Yeah, he's clutch.
Hey, if
Those
it passes
pizzas.
the Paisan test, you didn't say no. It's gonna got it for the
I
whole
passed
family.
the Paisans up, man.
Yes.
That was, let me tell you, I got some looks from some people that came in that I didn't talk to directly that were like, buddy, have you been on the fucking Coles?
There's a whole new family group. And you ain't in it.
I thought I was in a bad spot. Damn, was it that bad?
Apparently.
It was.
bad.
It was
A
bad.
little Rocco will fix everything.
was
Did you get a
bad.
little,
Yeah,
get a
you
little
made up
wine?
for
But yes, all good. All good. Had a little wine, had a little Roca, had some
can't
garlic
beat that.
knots.
Oh yeah, a little whipped ricotta.
Yes. Yeah, with it, yes, absolutely. It was good. I think I've played myself back into the good graces of the Italians. Little
the
food, little
family.
vino,
That's the trick.
right?
That's what families
Salute.
are based on. Exactly.
I underestimated the night. Leave me alone, why don't you? Huh?
I love you.
For God's sakes.
Eat up.
Yes, food and vino will get us into a good place. All right, as we said, Super Bowl. I don't know how many times we could beat the storylines of the Super Bowl. We've told you we're not betting against Burrow. We're riding with Joey on Super Bowl Sunday. We did mention also how weird it's going to be in Birmingham this morning for the SEC football coaches meeting. First time, all 14 of them will be in the room, including the new faces of Brian Kelly, Billy Napier. Who am I missing? Any new faces outside of those guys?
Billy
Napier,
Napier. Billy Napier.
Brian Kelly,
And then maybe Hugh Freeze.
possibly Hugh Freeze.
What's the how quickly would they have to move if they were going to do it? I guess now. That's why
Well, I
they're
don't
doing all
think
this now.
I don't know. To me, there is no time crunch anymore. National Signing Day is past. Hugh Freeze is not going anywhere. You know what I mean? He's going to be at Liberty whenever you're ready to get
He's got a
him.
deal too.
$3 million a year they're paying him.
Y'all are talking about for Auburn. Hugh Freeze going to Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the big money guy, the guy that runs Yellowwood,
Yellow.
wants. It sounds like he wants Hugh. Why I don't understand why they just didn't get Hugh the first time. If the guy wanted Hugh, and he's the money, and he's the one that everybody listens to over there, when he spoke the first time, why didn't you listen to him?
I thought they ran into a little hiccup with the
SEC
SEC commissioner.
Yeah, they did, but I mean, the SEC also, he said the same thing about Bruce Pearl.
True.
You know what I mean? He was like, I would recommend that you not do it, but I mean, it's your
want
school,
to.
you do it, and be like, all right, cool, we're doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Number one team in the
thanks.
country.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about winning here anyway, man, and they
Why
want
does
to
everybody
win
want Hugh Freeze so badly?
because he's
Not
a
that
Good
great.
coach.
He's a
Really?
great coach.
Oh, your
Y'all remember
bias
him
is
at Ole
showing.
Miss?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, he's at Liberty. I mean, I'm looking at his records right now. It's not
Anybody else
great.
beat Nick Saban? Like Hugh Freeze beat Nick Saban?
I mean,
Twice, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all
Who?
beat Nick Saban.
Yeah, but
LSU
not the
beat
same
Nick
coach.
Saban.
Yeah.
Ogeron did it once. Miles did it once. You had to patch them together. Mm-hmm. You know
I
what I
was
mean?
only do it once.
Yeah, he did it in 2019.
Really?
No,
Just one
no.
time?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ogeron. Ogeron. Yeah, Miles did it. No, Miles did it. 2011, he did it. 2007, the first time he played Saban,
Yeah, that's right.
he did it. And then he beat him with Patrick Peterson in 2010. And then outside of that was the 9-game losing streak that they ultimately got rid of him over. But I mean, Gus Malzahn and Hugh Freeze have been Saban kryptonite for their time at their schools. They have been the only two that have really been able to figure him out. I mean, Hugh Freeze beat him in Tuscaloosa. You know what I mean? Like, not only he beat him in Oxford and he beat him in Tuscaloosa. Remember that night the ball bounced off
that's
and
exactly
hit
what I
AJ
was
Brown,
thinking, and he just
and
kept,
he
kept
just-
on.
was it AJ
trucking.
Brown? Was that
No, I
AJ
don't
Brown?
think
No,
it was AJ Brown.
it was Attaboy Joe.
Okay, yeah.
Have y'all ever been around Hugh Freeze? Like, talked with him? Or?
I mean, he's been on
He's
the show.
called me a couple times.
He's been on the show.
Late night.
Wrong number.
Wrong number. Whoops.
But no, I've interviewed him before.
And
Well, what's your question?
I don't have a
I
question.
mean, he's a car
I mean,
salesman.
I've
I mean, he's
listened to him
he's
speak and
greasy
met him
as
a
they
few
get.
times.
He's a football recruiter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's He's a football.
He's a Bible thumper.
He's
too,
a football
huh?
genius.
Isn't
He said he was a Bible thumper,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
that wasn't.
That was his
the truth.
guy.
That's why. That's really ultimately why I don't
More
like
of a
him.
Bible humper.
Like I've listened to him speak a few times at events.
I'll show you
in
my Bible
Oxford.
belt right here.
Yeah, he's full of shit, basically.
Yeah.
And I had a weird feeling like when I was around him and when I met him, and I knew I mean, we could call David and ask him. I'd be like, Hugh Freeze is going down. I guarantee it.
You got the
and then
gut
when
feeling?
he did, I was like, told you.
She does have the gut.
I do.
Well,
I do
his
have the
act
gut.
was a little strong.
Yeah.
His act, like Will Wade just said. Listen to what Wade just said here 20 minutes ago. He said, I put myself out there. I'm the guy that asks you to buy tickets. I'm the one that asks you to buy in. I'm the one that says we're going to be held accountable. So when we fall flat, people let you hear about it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he says that. If you go out and you beat people over the head with Bible verses as an SEC football coach, people are going to smell blood around you. They are looking for a reason to take you down.
No, but they embraced it there.
Well, sure.
They believed
his
it and
community.
embraced it.
His
Yes,
community
Mississippi did.
But what do you think the rest of the SEC did?
Well, sure.
A Mississippi State fan got his records, his phone records,
It was
and
me.
went through
I'm bringing
every
you.
single number
Surprise.
that Hugh texted until the hooker picked up. I mean, like, that's what you do to opposing fan bases when you play fake, when you put on, when you look like you're not who you say you are. And that's why the people, to me, that embrace who they are, whether you're slimy or not in this sport, because everybody knows how the sport is controlled. Almost kind of like Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart
Yeah.
kind of owns who he is. I mean, when he tweeted out Saban's recruiting board, or he took the picture of Saban's recruiting board and he sent it to a recruit, and a recruit tweeted it out.
Oh man, that's
Hold
just
up,
4D chess.
You know what I mean? Like one of his last moves when he was leaving Alabama and going to Georgia was that he took a picture of the recruiting board and like sent it to a recruit and said, "You're not number one on their board. You're number one on our board." He was like, "Well, they say I'm number one on their board." He said, "Well, here's a picture. You're not number one on their board."
Says that to everyone.
You know what I mean? Like I was
Oh
like,
my God.
"Geez, Kirby, I want to hate you, but I
I
actually
admire
love
you.
Right? Just be real.
And then after the first playoff win, when he beat Baker Mayfield in Oklahoma, when he goes to the middle of the field, he goes, "How you fucking love that?" I was like, "Oh my!"
Well, the Georgia players were
God.
screaming at him too, telling him to humble himself. Like one of the Georgia defenders was like right by Kirby too, and he was like,
in
"Humble
that
yourself."
moment? In that yeah.
Humble
Wait,
yourself.
He runs to the 50-yard line, looks at Lincoln Riley and Baker Mayfield, and says, "How you fucking love that?" I mean, like, if I was a Georgia fan, I'd have been like, "Ah, we're gonna win! We're gonna win!"
It is pretty awesome.
You know what I mean? But just like he owns it, dude. Like
Yes.
he's like, "This is who I am. I'm not apologizing. I'm flying in on helicopters to Justin Fields' football game."
I watched this one. I didn't
Yeah, they
remember
scrubbed
this
it.
part.
Georgia had it scrubbed.
Well, there's pictures,
But there is
it's
pictures.
on the internet.
No, it is definitely on the internet. But if you watch the recap of the game from all of Georgia's point of view, it's nowhere to be found.
That's weird.
But it is. It's a great. It's a.
I mean, this is probably why they lost it.
If that's your sauce, that highlight is as good as it gets. I mean,
he acted like he won the Natty.
Coach, it was his first year. He pretty much did.
Yeah.
They're going to the national championship, and he just beat Baker Mayfield, who was up on him 4 scores at one point.
4 scores and 7 years ago.
I mean,
I don't know where that came from.
That was
But
so random.
Isn't that that's like
The
a history
Gettysburg
thing?
Address.
Yes,
Yeah. I know. It was just random that it came out.
Well,
of that.
every time I hear 4 scores, that's what I think of. No idea what they're talking about in it, but that's the one part I do remember. I think that's like the beginning.
It is the beginning.
Yeah.
do you have a video of that anywhere?
That's what I was
The
about. I was
Gettysburg
about to get
Address?
on the search. Yes. Oh yeah. I don't think they had cameras then.
Was that the
Dudes, get out
Gettysburg?
there.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about what is Gettysburg? Is that what they do in Remember the Titans? When they go on the run?
I don't know.
Me either.
I don't know. I'm not going to claim to know either. Walk into a trap real quick.
I know we really are.
I'm scared to just talk about history.
Easy way to get out of traps is to get over to Relief Med.
Yes.
Okay, good segue.
Get your recommendation today, and it's easy to do. A promo code, Jordy1. Jordy1 is the promo code. Get over to Relief Med. Going into the weekend, whether you're going to be celebrating an LSU basketball win or if you just want to sit back and check out what's going on. That's right. That's right. Or if you just want to celebrate thinking about Katie walking into the dude with an LSU baseball jersey on. Whatever it may be, get over to reliefmed.com, RELEAF med.com, RELEAF med.com is where you can find them online. It's an easy online process just to go through it and get your recommendation, and you'll be in front of a doctor, whether it is through a video, whether it's through a Zoom or whether it's face-to-face. You can find them online at reliefmed.com. Here we go. Here we go. Look at Curb. First,
post-game coverage. Putting the trophy.
Boom, motherfuckers!
Is that what he said? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Boom!
I love it. I love that.
I like Kirby so much more now.
I know. Coach, and like the ABC cameras caught that.
That's
like,
what. Yeah, that's what it
was.
was.
They were just like following his.
Of course.
And when I saw it, I was just like,
I've never not liked Kirby though. Like I've never not been.
I wanted to hate Kirby.
I wanted to too, but like I
wanted
him.
to not like him, but
I like his
can't.
fire as a coach.
And then when I
like
saw
him
this,
too.
I thought, Jesus, I love you, Kirby.
Right.
Well, he's
back.
real.
Come
See,
give me a
y'all
hug.
like
Yeah,
that.
right.
We like somebody being who they are.
It was.
It's a cool story for Kirby, man. I mean, like, think if you were a local dude, local kid, went to Georgia, played for Georgia. Georgia can't get the national championship ghost off their back since Herschel Walker was a freshman in 1980. And Kirby's the first one to lead them back to the game. And you think about what that emotion was like in the moment, dude. You know what I mean? Like, if you're that person to that school and to that state, how cool that would be. I mean, could you imagine being from Louisiana,
The Coach O
playing
story.
at LSU, coming back and winning the Natty? But yeah, but like for the first time and, you know, winning the Natty in 2003, if you'd have been the, a former player. I mean, that's kind of how Kirby sits. That's how.
Oh, yeah, didn't he play safety there?
Yeah, he was good. He was pretty good.
It's crazy to think that he
I
was
know.
out there running around taking people's heads off. But I gotta
Like
look
in 1990s football with no rules.
no rules. Boom, motherfucker.
Right.
But I have a poll question that I'm about to put up. But if you could pick any former coach from Nick Saban's staff at LSU, aside from Nick Saban, would Kirby Smart be your vote? Would it Kirby, Jimbo?
Oh, he had
Muschamp.
Michigan State. He had
Oh yeah,
Tucker.
Mel Tucker.
Jeez, I mean that's.
Mel
those are some good
Tucker,
picks.
Jimbo, Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp,
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase was a youngster on that LSU squad. Yeah, I think Kirby Smart would be the play.
Yeah,
Maybe between Jimbo and Kirby, huh?
Same.
I'm with Kirby. I don't like Jimbo.
But I'd probably go Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kirby's a little bit more real than Jimbo is. You know what I mean? Like
$30 million.
I felt sorry.
Yeah,
I
he got
felt,
$30
I
million.
felt
I
sorry.
don't know.
I
Jimbo
felt
was pretty
sorry
real this year.
I felt sorry to a degree for Jimbo in that press conference,
Why?
just because, like, are you kidding, bro? Like, I mean,
You're lying right to me.
I mean, you're lying into these cameras. Why not embrace? I always thought that you were the guy that, like, we knew what we were doing. We were prepared, and we beat you at it. You know, like, why are you insecure about this? You just ran laps around the entire sport.
I guess you can't be that brazen about it. You can't openly admit to what their process.
What do you think
for
Kirby
doing
would have
NIL.
done? You
I
think
mean,
Kirby-
Kirby's going to do exactly. Kirby's doing the same thing. He's
Yeah, I
just being
think so,
quiet
too.
about it. He just wasn't as big of a splash.
Not as
A&M did it to the degree that you have to answer questions about it.
Well, Jimbo said he was doing this in November. Everything he quoted was exactly happened. So
Yeah,
I mean,
he said it's NIL. It's just, I mean, it's always been this way. Now it's just in the open.
Yeah.
And then he didn't double down on it. He went the other way and said, "Look, we're doing it just like everybody else."
Yeah.
And it's like when you talk about what he was saying earlier in the year, it's like I got the number one recruiting class in the country coming in. Like
Yeah,
he already had those
he
guys
did.
sewn up.
No doubt.
All those
He
guys
did.
were ready to come to A&M.
He was talking to their parents, handlers, people, and recognizing that no other school was ready. You know, they were probably like, y'all are so far. We're going to Texas A&M. I mean, like, it's not even close because nobody else can even talk it. Nobody even is. Yeah, we'll take care of it. We'll be ready for it. When Texas A&M was like, here's the contract. Are you in or you out? I mean, like, that was the deal with Jacoby Matthews. I mean, LSU never really had a chance with Jacoby Matthews on National Signing Day because he had already signed his letter of intent. Texas A&M behind the scene was playing. They were so far out in front of they were a couple of steps out in front of everybody where, you know, I mean,
Jacoby Matthews, the emotion of it got to Matthews at the end, where I think he realized
I'm already in.
he probably made a mistake.
I'm in the cult.
You know, I mean, like Sam Spiegelman told us, that'll probably be a decision that battles Jacoby Matthews with him driving to College Station. You know, he'll probably be thinking as he's making his way there,
Oh, that's
officially,
a terrible
like,
feeling too.
what the fuck? You know,
You
then you
think there's
get there, first practice day, then you get there and you're away from your guys, and now you're seeing, you know, images come out from LSU of, you know, Jordan Allen and Quincy Wiggins and guys that are in this freshman class, guys that you were going through the recruitment with, you know, at school, going through all the stuff. I mean, who knows how that maybe he sees it and he says, I made the right decision and I'm at Texas A&M and I need to be here. But I mean, A&M was so far out in front of everybody in this recruiting cycle of getting these guys not only like interested in the program and committed, like signed. I mean, it was done. It was a done deal. I mean, for as much as LSU wanted to have a chance at Jacoby Matthews, they never really did because all the legal stuff was
Right, and I
done.
think that's probably what ate him up the most. Is like he had already made his decision. Then it comes to actual decision day, and he's probably going there going, "I wish I was probably like my heart tells me to go to LSU." Like, and you have to sit there. It's like there's something I can do to change that now, though. Like,
Right.
even though this is decision day, I made this decision months ago.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I can do about it now. I'm sure. And then when you have social media the way that you do, and he's boys with all those guys, like he follows all of them on Instagram,
Well, I mean,
Twitter.
they were on the visit
he'll see,
together.
yeah, he'll see all that. I mean, there's I guess in a world for Jacoby Matthews, it's not exactly over. There's the portal, but you also don't know what kind of deal he signed.
Yeah.
Jimbo said they recruited each other, basically. All those guys.
Oh, what on Texas A&M? Like all the guys
Yeah.
that are at Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they all
Like
compared
that
the
class. He
contract.
said they
Like, let's all
recruited
go
each
out
other.
together.
Yeah.
Go get a booth
We
in
didn't
Vegas.
believe him. Like we didn't believe him all that time. We heard
still
him
don't.
talking, but we didn't believe him.
Believe what?
That
Just
they
everything-
recruited each other?
No, they
everything
didn't.
that
I don't
he said.
believe that at all. I believe that it was a general manager and they were signing the best class. It was
agency.
Name me the top 25 in the country that you want. I want the number one running back in Louisiana in Le'Veon Moss. I want the number one safety in Louisiana in Jacoby Matthews. I want the number one wide receiver in Texas in this guy. I want Shamar Stewart, the number one defensive lineman in Florida. I want Walter Nolan, the number one defensive lineman in the country. Well, how do we do it? Bring them all in together in one weekend. Get them together. Show them this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to pay them. This is going to be the deal. These are the ones we want. We're bringing them in on a free agency visit. This isn't an official recruiting trip anymore. There's money tied to this now. We're selling them as if they're free agents in the NFL. When they come to campus, this is how you fit in. This is where you're going to live. This is what you're going to drive. You know what I mean? Jeffrey Bone says that Jacoby Matthews is driving a Charger around Ponchatoula. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. All that was negotiated and talked about, and really, if the NCAA went and crawled up Texas A&M or Jacoby Matthews, at parents, people for answers, it'll probably all be legal. It's all taken above the table on
board.
NIL stuff because it was all just kind of locked in and written out and explained and signed on.
Rico in the chat says Jacoby earned it. He did. He earned it.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody said he didn't earn it.
Right. So, I mean, this is SMU. Mark Cumbie says Texas A&M is SMU. Yeah, with now legal written laws around it. I mean, SMU had the business model built in the 80s for the Pony Express. But now, I mean, Texas A&M, I mean, how much was Texas A&M mentioned in the Pony Express documentary, the 30 for 30 with SMU? I mean, they were doing that back then. Now they've just put a business model to it.
I can't believe they got that guy on the 30 for 30. They had nothing on him, and they just
Nothing.
broke him. And
Nothing. All they're doing is what they're doing to
That's what
LSU.
yeah, exactly.
They're just trying to bully LSU and bully people around LSU to just crack. Just scare them into a situation where make them think that you've got all this stuff on them, and they'll sit down and talk to you. And then once they realize that, hang on, you really don't have any information, nor do you have the power to tell me to sit down and talk to you, they've said too much. And good on LSU for holding their ground and, telling them, go play mall cop somewhere else, buddy. You know what I mean? Like,
It's not. Yeah, right. I mean, it's not going to fly around here. Ryan Thibodeau Matthews getting about $60K per year with semester with perks towards travel for his parents is the rumor down there in Pine. There's all types of stuff, man. I've heard private jets on game days. I've heard contracts and money going back to the parents. All types of stuff that Texas A&M is doing. But what Texas A&M is doing is that they are ahead of the game in NIL. Whether we agree, disagree, or whether we want to debate and whether we want to go back and forth on what's being said and done around Texas A&M and the way they're recruiting, they're whipping everybody's ass in NIL. Everybody's. And NIL is a part of the recruiting game now. And, you know, we can get pissed off about it, but really, I mean, if LSU was doing it and they were doing it like this, you'd be waving the flag, man, because they were so prepared and ready for the assignment that they absolutely crushed it.
You'd be doing the, I guess, essentially what Georgia did whenever they threw the recruiting party.
I wonder if you follow up this class with like another $30 million class.
Well, if it worked, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but how do you know if it's really going to work next year at this time? You won't really know if it's going to work. I mean, some of these guys aren't going to be ready to play. I mean, we've seen. I mean, LSU has recruited classes that are comparable to this, not with all the five, but I mean, high end, really good classes where you're like, damn, all these cats are going to play. But they come in here and some of their timeline's a little different, right? Where they may not start playing to the last 3 games of the season, or they may play early on in the year and they fizzle out at the end. They hit like kind of a rookie freshman wall. Or some of them just may be redshirted. I mean, there's instances and examples of 5-star guys that get to campuses where, you know, there's even a path to play. You don't have to be at Alabama or Clemson or, you know, LSU not to be able to get onto the field early. I mean, there's 5-stars that show up on campus where it's not ready. You're not ready.
Think about the message boards at Texas A&M.
Oh my
they're
God,
gonna know they're gonna know this recruiting class and these freshmen more than they probably know the starters on the roster right now. They're going to be like, why is it Jacoby Matthews in? Why is it Shamar Stewart playing? Like, they're going to be calling. It's going to be quarterback, like backup quarterback syndrome at every position on the field because of this recruiting class. It's going to be, if it doesn't get off to like a hot start, if they drop one early, it's going to be a frenzy at A&M. Man. Like, you talk about being who you are. Jimbo put all of his chips in the middle of the table because you can't run from this. This is, you are the probably most talked about program going into the next college football season.
Yes,
like it is A&M and then probably Alabama.
Yeah.
Like it is, and then Georgia.
Texas.
Like, and then Texas. Yeah. But like A&M for not, what did they go, 8-5?
8-4.
8-4.
They gave up, they didn't go to their bowl game.
Oh, but they were recruiting. Right. But if you aren't the team that you're going to be billed to be, it's going to be an absolute, they're going to be talking about you for the entire year.
Yeah.
Get ready, Jimbo. Get those boots shined up.
I'm telling you, man. Ryan Coker with a great question. Why is it always a Charger?
That is true.
It always is a Charger.
I think they want those.
I was about to say, they just like that type of car.
Wait, don't you drive a Charger?
Don't you have a Charger?
I like Chargers. I like Chargers, but it always is a Charger.
I will keep it real. I've been having that Charger since high school, so I was on the Charger train before these guys.
He almost got an offer.
These kids were in middle school when I was driving.
But I mean, I feel like Alabama's been driving Chargers since like Sean Alexander. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like they've been driving Chargers forever.
Saban has a little Dodge
dealership.
dealership
The way
up
it
there.
drives, like it's just fast.
Yeah, I mean, look, theirs are fast. Mine ain't fast.
They got the Hemi.
Yeah.
Rico Delgado, I see it as a positive with Jacoby because it should properly motivate LSU to get their shit together.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I think so too. Mark Cumbie, if Jimbo goes 8-4 again, does it affect recruiting even with the money? No, I don't think so. I mean, next year's recruiting cycle is going to be just as intrigued and attracted to the money just like this one was. And the more money you put in front of them, the more money that they're going to, you know, respond to. And it's going to become a highest bidder wins. And that's what NFL free agency is a lot of the times. I mean, it's very rare where you get a free agent to go somewhere for less money. You know, I mean, it's just, it happens, but it's very rare. In recruiting, I think the same thing is about to start happening, where it's just going to be the highest bidder. There's no loyalty. I mean, we've documented examples here. I don't know how many times we've told the example of Denver Harris, but I mean, his family said the guy wants to go to LSU. He's passionate and loves LSU. But then recruiting signing day came, mean, he signed with Texas A&M. I thought you said he loved LSU. He does love LSU. But Texas A&M made him an offer that he just couldn't turn down. Oh, okay.
Well, usually their families can't turn. I mean, this is life-changing for these kids' families. It's different for NFL players, but for this, I mean, this is, this pays the bills.
Yeah.
For a lot of these kids.
No, it definitely does. And I think that's what NIL and these contracts are being able to do. Rohan brought up a great point that I think we don't think about. I mean, a lot of these guys, they go away to school and they still feel the pressures from their families to either send back money or send back some type of financial support because, I mean, their talent has opened up that type of possibility for them. Where in high school, there was probably some big booster, some big business guy, business person that was, greasing their pockets, helping them out, letting them know, come to my restaurant. You can eat for free every time you come here. Take your family in. Tell your mom she can come in here. She can eat just tell her that you're, whatever it is. So they've become, accustomed to this life where now in NIL, you can work all that stuff out. Where you don't have the player constantly worried about sending money home or, taking care of the family or being able to do his or her part as a college student athlete. In an NIL stuff, you just say, hey, look, man, my parents want $10,000 a month, $8,000 a month, $15,000 a month, whatever it is. Y'all work that out, make sure that that's signed off on, and I don't have to worry about it. I mean, there's parts of this stuff that we don't even think about. I mean, there's parts of this stuff that, we've got no idea about. Just as the fan base or people that are not going through the process.
It's the wild, wild west.
It is. It is. Shout out to the bakers. They love the AK cutout. Appreciate it. We do too. More of the timing of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes things just work out.
Shout out to Mark Fresh Art, our guy Mark Verrett. That's the Louisiana that he painted right behind us, and that's his Alvin Kamara that he painted the cutout on. That's him in the watch room as well with Joey B and Jamar Chase. Make sure you hit that like button, share button, comment button if you don't mind.
Something there in the middle.
Yeah.
A little empty space.
Right here.
Yeah. Because when we did the AK for Mic'd Up, it looked good in the middle.
It did look good. It did look good. That might be the spot.
Don't forget tomorrow morning, Pop's coming on to cook some shrimp
Oh,
and grits
yeah,
for our
yes,
Friday
yes.
food segment. First
Friday
thing in the morning.
foodie, little shrimp and grits.
Super
Brought
Bowl
to you by
squares.
Papa Earl's. And then Sean will come from Modesto and show us all the goodies there, too. Got a lot of food tomorrow.
Yeah, Sean's got a Super Bowl themed snack in mind.
Love it.
He dropped a little hint
He's so
yesterday.
creative.
Lily.
Yes.
Little
No,
nugget,
it's
huh?
Sean.
It's Sean.
But
No,
they
I
cut
know,
from the
but-
same
yeah,
cloth.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they are.
Lily Jr.
Yes.
They are.
I don't know what happened to me.
You're great, too,
Drugs.
Lloyd.
She said she dropped him on my head a lot. Like I fell off the shopping cart a good bit.
You're creative, bro. I think that it wasn't a physical.
My physical
You
gifts
weren't
are
trauma.
elsewhere.
It wasn't blunt force trauma. Yeah, right. It was more chemical.
And I'm the second. I probably fell off the cart a ton. Sean was
Sure.
probably strapped in there with bubble wrap,
Right.
taking Adderall when he was 4.
I still only have the one. I've got just one child in Jay, but I hear like
You sure?
after the first,
got it.
after the first, you know what I mean. You don't really care what it's like.
Oh,
with
she
them,
told
you
me
know,
as
you
much.
Get out of the bathtub.
Yeah,
and
you're
the
you're
younger
running
one.
around.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, the other one stayed alive. You're good.
Yeah.
We did it right the
I
first
tried
time.
real hard
living.
with this one. Yeah.
Just like that.
All right, have a great day.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Like, share button, comment button. Go Chevrolet. We appreciate them every day for driving us. GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Football Friday, Food Friday tomorrow, as we'll have Super Bowl eats for you. Pop from Papa Earl's is going to be here cooking up some shrimp and grits. And we will also be selling our Super Bowl squares. Remember, email Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com to get in for the Super
Y'all
Bowl
already
squares.
been doing it. We appreciate it.
Eat Modesto. We are going to be doing that for our Super Bowl watch party. Don't let them just cater our watch party. Let them cater yours. Get in touch with them at eatmodesto.com. Enjoy your Thursday. We're back with you tomorrow morning. Hit that like button, share button, comment button.